And welcome to Bryan Tonight, Friday Night Football with Jim Funderburg along with Chris Malenga here at Bryan Golden Bears Stadium. Tonight, it's going to be an interesting ball game, Christopher, as the guys from Archbold come calling here on a Friday evening in an NWAL game. And obviously, Archbold comes into the ball game at 1-2. The Bears still looking for that very first victory of the season. And last week, you missed what looked to be maybe that first opportunity last week, and everything kind of slipped through our fingers in that last second or so of the ball game as we missed the extra point after getting so close.
You know, I listened to that game, and, the first half went so fast to that game, and then all the action seemed to happen in the last couple minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And, it was just a tough situation there for the Golden Bears, and, 9 times out of 10 your kicker makes that extra point to get it into overtime, and, just a tough situation. So
yeah, the guy that you feel the worst for, obviously, Josh Jones, who had played such a good game all night long. He'd made a couple of big catches, got the touchdown catch, the very first one. Had the onside kick that was just spectacular. The little dribbler that kicked at the very end. Sam Culler went up in the air and tipped it over, and the Bears picked it up. I believe it was young Mr. Peters that scooped up on that onside kick and that second opportunity, and that was clear down in the last basically 30 seconds of the football game, Chris. So it was the good old time Bryan Golden Bear football. But Josh, then to miss that extra point at the end of everything, anybody that was watching the game this week saw him because he was so upset. He was smashing that helmet on the ground. He had all of his teammates around him. I think it's a good sign of things to come, though, for this football team after a week where an awful lot of folks around here thought that these guys were going to go to Wasion and kind of get roaded over there. That 61-0 the year before. They were expecting some of the same medicine again last week.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, it was not like that. It was a tough game, good defensive game. Bryan's defense held Wasion pretty well. And now you just move forward. You're 0-3 in the league, 0-6 overall. But you got a tough test tonight in Archbold, who is 1-2 in the league and 3-3 overall. So, just got to keep going and try to get better week to week. And, you may not be seeing results now, but you'll see results here in the next year or so.
I think we have seen some results. I thought they played as well as we've seen them play last week. Defense played pretty solidly, as you said. The offense at the very end, that offensive line was doing a wonderful job to allow Zach Nobis plenty of time to look for receivers downfield. Zach, who now has got a little over a season under his belt, was starting to be able to look downfield and not worry about who was coming off the right end or the left end, and was really doing a nice job of finding receivers, and guys were getting open. And that offensive line were picking up blitzing linebackers because, Cooper, he likes to send the house on you.
Yep.
And so on every play, somebody was coming from somewhere, and every time that offensive line was up to the challenge, and they were able to give Nobis plenty of time to try to throw the football wherever he wanted to go. Obviously, the Bears lose 14-13 last week at Wasion. For Archbold, it was just the opposite. They beat Patrick Henry 7-6. And as you said, Chris, they are now 1-2 in the conference and 3-3 overall. Coming in tonight here against the Golden Bears, and a whole lot of pink in the neighborhood here tonight too.
Yep. It has the play for your career game, and so you're going to see the cheerleaders with pink pom poms, and the guys have pink socks on, and just a lot of decoration, remembering that the cause which we're all here for. So right now the toss going on, so I don't know who's won it or if it's even been tossed yet. But they're doing that at midfield, and it should be a fun night for football. It's chilly, little wind, but it's not too bad. Bryan wins the toss.
Man, what's happening?
And what are they going to do?
I would bet you they're going to defer. That seems to be the flavor of the month right now, is to set this up for the second half.
Yeah, it looks like, here we go, we'll get the official. Will they actually talk it? That would be interesting. But, so Bryan wins the toss, and, oh, look at this. Let's put it on.
Elected to receive down in this end zone.
Oh, gosh.
Wow. A little different. What's the thought process there?
I don't know. We talked to Coach Redhead about just that a couple of weeks ago, and the idea that he liked having the football to start out the third quarter. Maybe he's going to try to keep the momentum going this week from what that offense had going at the very end of that game over in Wasion this week. And maybe see if that group could come back out on the field with that hot hand still, maybe go down and score. That has been a big problem for the Bears. Scoring points all year long has not been an easy situation for these guys.
They have come at a premium.
They really have. And if you take a look at it, in fact, overall on the season right now, Bryan's only scored 48 points for the entire year, allowed 145 points. Archbold not doing a whole lot better, 74 total points for them and 152 allowed. In the conference, Archbold really has only scored 21 points so far in their first 3 football games, and the Bears with 34 after that 13-point outburst, I guess we call it, last week. So it has been a difficult situation for the Bears, and maybe that's exactly it. Everything that I've heard, everybody that I've talked to this week has said that this has been a darn good week of football practice for the Golden Bears. The spirits have been good, the focus has been good, and the attitudes have been wonderful. So let's just see maybe if they can't get that very first win. Also, it's got to feel good, Chris, for those guys, I think, to get back here on home turf after being gone for 2 weeks.
Absolutely. It's a good situation to be back home, and hopefully there's some home cooking tonight, and it's a positive thing for the Golden Bears.
These two teams kind of flip-flopped each other. Last year, Archbold got off to an 0-6 start. Bears beat them in week 3 at Archbold, 34-19. Overall, only 2 wins for the Blue Streaks last year. They beat Evergreen, and they also defeated Montpelier. And it was the first losing season they'd had since all the way back in 2006. So it's a program that's not accustomed to losing, and it's always been a program whenever we've done the ball games that the games have been fast, the games have been competitive, and they've always been relatively close. Even games that end up with a couple touchdown spread oftentimes goes through that entire football game as a 2-point, 1-point, 6-point game, and then all of a sudden somebody scores, and then maybe something fluky happens, and it all of a sudden becomes a 20-point game. But it's been a good game for 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, and hopefully we see that again tonight.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'll tell you, it has been a whole lot of fun. Why don't we take our first break here on BryanSports.com? It's the Bears and the Blue Streaks here tonight on a Friday night at Golden Bear Stadium. Well, Coach, another game. This time you get to come back home, which has got to be a plus, I would think, and an Archbold team that, again, to me looks like you match up pretty well against this Friday night, too.
Yeah, we do. They're a lot like us. They're not, they throw the ball a little bit and they run it a little bit, and, but consistency is the key. I think our defense matches up well. I think we're more physical up front. It's just, we got to execute and, pick up our assignments. And, we get some guys back this week, so, we're almost to full strength, and, we'll see how we do.
Yeah, interesting. Well, and looking at the Archbold team, they don't look to have that big physical presence that we've seen against a couple of these ball teams this year, but that's always been Archbold. They're quicker normally. They like to get some quick hitters and try to make you try to catch them in space.
Yeah.
Same team?
Yeah, same thing. And, offensively, that's what they do. They get the ball out of the box quick and then try and, run enough to keep you honest. Defensively, they're small and they're athletic. So, we got to move our feet. We got to step to our assignments on the offensive line. And, if we catch a hold of them, we can definitely draw them off the ball. You're going to see a little different. We're going to move the ball on the perimeter more and, open it up a little bit, and not just sticking our inside, because if we pack the box, they're going to pack it and, take the legs out, and, they're just going to jam it up. So we're going to open up some run lanes.
Yeah, interesting, because we've seen that a couple times, and it seems like you've got to start catching some footballs though before people are going to honor that,
Yeah.
And I think the tape that everybody saw last week, all of a sudden, these guys are catching the ball now. We're going to have to honor those wide receivers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to be better on the passing game, and what they give us in the secondary. I like the matchup, so hopefully we can go and get in the win column this week.
Got a homecoming game. That's always a good thing. This will be your first time to go through that here. You got a ready, set, relax on a Monday night. So
Yeah.
kind of a different football week for you guys this week.
Yeah, definitely. With the short day today, and then next week homecoming. It's everything's going to be shortened, and you adjust to it and you get the kids going, and that's all you can do.
What was practice like, or has it started? Because you started only on Monday right now, as we're doing this on Monday. Attitude's a little bit better after that ball game in Wasion, about the same?
Attitudes have always been good, but I think the kids see that they're not a bad football team. And, if they play and they execute, they can play with anybody. It's just we can't have the penalties and the missed assignments. And, I think when we do that, we'll be okay.
Sounds good. Rest of the year looks like it's a pretty decent setup for you guys, though, too. I think get this one on Friday night, and maybe some things can start rolling between now and the end of the season.
Yeah. I think, I like the teams we're playing, and I think we can do all right. And, we're going to give it the best shot we got.
Fantastic. that'll do it for this edition of the Extra Point. If it's Friday night, there'll be football. Remember, the Extra Point airs every week right before any of the replays of the football games, and also airs right before the football game on Friday night. If it's Friday, it's football here on BMU TV.
Back at Golden Bear Stadium, Chris Malanga, Jim Funderburg, and Jim, the Blue Streaks of Archbold come to town.
You know who Jason?
Gotta love those guys, you know what I mean?
Follow him on Twitter.
Every now and then I even get the name correct at some point here and there, right?
Yeah, you do.
Well, you know, it's an interesting football game, and it's going to be an interesting football team that's coming in. And obviously, you know, both these teams coming in with new coaches. Archbold's David Dominic was a little bit of an unusual situation, obviously, as they had a coach that resigned, Bryan Miller.
Like real quick, right before the season started.
Yeah, right after they had played the very first scrimmage game, and then they changed horses. And, you know, for Dominic, he was on their football team back in 2010. He was an all-league football player. So he actually played for Bryan Miller.
Okay.
So I would have to believe that that's kind of a difficult situation for a young guy like that, to get into a situation where you're asked to replace your high school football coach that quickly, had to come in and take over the reins. I guess the good news is, since you're from that program, you understand that system, and it would be something that would be accustomed to you.
Yeah.
It would not be new for you. You'd have to,
Yeah,
you
it's
wouldn't
not
have to
like a
learn it
big
all.
learning curve coming into things.
Exactly, no doubt about that. So I think that part was a good thing for them. They come in this year, though they lost Levi Wise. I think that's a name that we called an awful lot. A big return guy. He wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but man, that kid could put the Jets on and go. But they do bring back a football team that has quite a few guys on it that were around last year. Offensively, since they'll be out basically in the third quarter. Their quarterback is Gabe Peterson. He's only a sophomore, 6 foot, 160 pounds. Their quarterback from last year, basically Derek Walker, will be a wide receiver. Walker's 5'11" and 160 pounds. He's a senior. Last year, hit about 54% of his passes, rushed for a little over 1,000 yards, threw for a little over 1,100 yards. Maybe those two flip-flopped a little bit. 9 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. So when you've got a quarterback like that who can run pretty much as well as he can throw, and had some problems hitting the guys in the same colored shirts, every now and then maybe it's time to go with a sophomore like Peterson.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember him last year, all sorts of chucking the football around a lot, you know, and being able to tuck and run when he needed to. And they designed a lot of plays for him.
Yeah, they did entirely. So that was an interesting situation. He's moved to a wide receiver spot this year. And basically, he's going to be, you'll see him an awful lot more on the field in that situation. So it'll be an interesting situation for them. His brother Sam Peterson, also one of the running backs, Nick Rodriguez, Derek Walker, and Seth Mayer and Isaac Peterson wrap up all of the wide receivers. Peterson is a senior. Mayer is a senior. Walker is a senior. So you've got some seniors out there that have decent size and always decent speed. And I would think that would be one of the things that Coach Redhead is going to have to be a little bit worried about this afternoon or this evening. One good news for the piece of good news for the defense on the Bryan side. Jordan Armbruster back up at full speed pretty much last week. He'll start a defensive end for these guys this evening. And, you know, it's always good to see that young guy, tight end, defensive end. He's gotten some good minutes, and it's good to see him back. Another name that I like to see back in that lineup right now for us is also big number 24, David Rummel.
Yep, absolutely.
Rummel, who's been out with numerous little nicks and things and bruises all year long. We'll get a chance here to start tonight on the offensive side, and we expect to probably see him a little bit on the defensive side of the football, too, as a linebacker. So Bears will get the football here tonight. We're about 5 minutes or so from kickoff here at Golden Bear Stadium. Why don't we step away for just a minute? When we come back, we'll talk about all the starting lineups for the Golden Bears. We'll step away here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, Jim and Chris, Friday night, BryanSports.com. If it's Saturday night and you're watching pictures along with the audio, then that means you're watching
or
on
Friday
BMU
night tonight, right?
Well, that's right. You know, I keep forgetting every now and then. I'm glad you're back around here to keep me on the straight and narrow. But Friday nights, of home games, 11 o'clock, and I have gone home and watched a couple of those ball games, and I'm hoping tonight is the night that I get to go home and watch the very first victory here for the Golden Bears. Tonight we expect for the Bears, they're going to start Zach Nobis at quarterback, the sophomore, basically 5'11", 170 pounds. The wide receivers, Drew Peters, who's only a freshman at 5'9", 160. Jake Hausch, a senior at 5'10", 174. David Rummel and Josh Jones. Rummel, a senior at 5'10", 165, and Jones, a junior at 5'11", 165 pounds. Damon Belts, the running back, and I expect the 6', 210-pound junior to maybe have a big night tonight, Chris.
This would be good for a breakout night.
I would think it'd be a good night. Chris Whitler and Chance Taylor will line up on the left side of the ball. Whitler at the tackle, Taylor at the guard. Ryan Pekornik will be the center. Travis Beck at right guard, and Chemi Sanchez back at right tackle here tonight. So a couple of sophomores on the right side, a couple of seniors on the left-hand side. For Archbold, the defense, this is going to be an interesting situation. Not the biggest bunch of guys you're going to find. One of the defensive ends is a freshman. His name is Holden Gavin. He's 5'6", 145 pounds. The defensive tackle, Logan Roth, is a sophomore, 5'7", 170 pounds. The other tackle is Kyle Ott. He's a senior, 6', 190 pounds. Their linebackers, Ben Zimmerman, who's a sophomore, 6'2", 175. Austin Wilson, who's a junior, 5'9", 175 pounds. Sam Peterson, who's a sophomore, 165-pounder. You also have Camden Warnke, who will play out the other end spot. Elijah Alvarado, the inside linebacker, and then the defensive back, Seth Mayer, Toby Walker, and Isaac Peterson, senior, junior, and senior. And the Bears will get the football to start everything off. And the Bears are going to stand everybody basically no farther back than about the 20-yard line to return this kick. Archbold shows maybe an onside kick look and then
and
shifts
they'll
out
get a
of
penalty
it.
Because I think you have to have so many people on the line. Offsides.
Offsides on Archbold. That 5 yards will cost Archbold, potentially cost some little field position on this.
Before we get started, Jim, I want to thank our sponsors, Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home, Bryan Ford Lincoln, at the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Northwest State Community College, Tompkinson BMW, Genesis Healthcare, Whelan's Auto Repair, the Plaza Motel, and Bryan Municipal Utilities.
Bears have Sam Culler now to the 25-yard line over on the Archbold side. And is that Josh Jones on our side? Is that 27? Chris, can you see that number? He's standing sideways on me right now. They'll kick it to Culler, and that'll be a good situation. Culler grabs it at the 23, across the 30, across the 35, met at about the 37-yard line, and that's where the Bears will have the football first down and 10 to get everything going here. Just underway. Good to have you with us on this Friday night stream here on the BryanSports.com BMU Channel 3 network. Christopher, we had no stats last week. I'm going to tell you that right now. Mr. Herman was a pretty face to be standing next to, but as far as when it comes down to ciphering this and ciphering that, the young man must have failed math along with English when he was younger. I'm just kidding.
I shall do my best.
Big E did a nice job last week. It was good to have him, and I was listening to some of his comments, and I was amazed at some of the stuff he was picking up and sending me last week. So I was proud of the young man to be able to fill in there for you last night. Handoff will go to Belts, and he'll sweep the right side. He's got room still on his feet across the 40. Lunges forward to about the 43-yard line, so Damon Belts will get about 5 on first down. You would think they'd go behind maybe the senior side of that line on the left-hand side. Instead, this time they went behind the sophomores on the right side. Again, Zach Nobis runs to the sideline, talks to the coach, then back out in the huddle. That'll be triples on our side right now. Jones will be in the slot. Peters will be the gentleman right in front of a single wide receiver to the top. And one running back in the backfield as Nobis in that pistol look. He's got time. Now he'll run right up the middle of the field. He's got the first down. He'll be inside Archbold territory. And he'll stumble down around the 48-yard line. So the first down run gets him 9 big yards. And the Bears all of a sudden looking real good as they get the first down here of the evening. Just underway, a minute into the ball game. First down and 10, Golden Bears. Belts to the right here of Kuba in the pistol look. Tight formation for this football team, and Belts goes around the left side. He's got room. He's on his feet. 35, 30, 25. He's got one guy to beat, and the tackle at the 15-yard line. Belts will go down at the 14-yard line, and that was Isaac Peterson that made the tackle. We've got a flag back at the 21-yard line and also back at midfield. So if these are going to go against the Bears, then a big run by Damon Bells is going to come backwards here. And the Bears are going to get caught for holding, I think, right at the line of scrimmage, Chris.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's see what the official call is.
Ball comes back to the 47-yard line. Damon Belts with a nice big run of about 26. Unfortunately, there were flags at the line of scrimmage. Okay.
Yeah, that's never good.
So the holding penalty will send the Bears back into their territory at the 41-yard line. And the sideline infraction basically is just drop the hanky this time and don't do it again. So first down now and 20 for the Bears. And they come back again with that spread look. Triple wide receivers here on the home side, a single guy to the top, Damon Belts, in that crouch there right next to the quarterback. Nobis throws deep across the middle of the field, and it's slightly overthrown down around the 25-yard line.
He's looking for Rummel.
Had Rummel in that little post pattern, and Rummel was being covered extremely well by Seth Mayer. And the ball thrown just a little bit too far. We'll set up a second down now at 20.
If they continue to line up in the spread look, I'd look to the right side because you've got 3 Bryan wideouts on basically one guy in the rover over here. They've got a guy playing kind of like the rover back whose job is to either blitz or come back and cover the wideout, and he's not coming back all that quickly. So there could be some stuff to exploit right there.
Tight formation now for the Bears as they're 2 slot guys right at the line of scrimmage. Jones will come to the right. They'll pitch to Belts, and Belts will follow him around the right end. He'll get a yard, maybe 2. And there's all kinds of Archbold blue streaks all over him. In fact, one of the guys, Sam Peterson, comes off the pile with the football, but they say that Damon was already down. Give him a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and long. Tell you, I've been impressed so far, Chris, though, on the blocking for this offensive line in pass protection so far. It was very good last week. Coach was not happy in the first half about some of the run blocks that he was getting. But, boy, I'll tell you that the pass blocking was spectacular. And so far tonight, it started out extremely well. Triples to the top, single guy right in front of us, and that's Peters here on the home side, on the short side of the field. Tossed by Nobis in the flat to Rummel will be complete, but he'll be stopped right there. Now they're going to say he didn't catch it.
Hit the ground.
Rummel was right in the grasp at that point in time of one of the Archbold defenders, so he wasn't going anywhere. So just as good as an incompletion right there. David Grimm was the young guy on protection there as the Bears will kick this one away. Good snap, nice, big, tall, high kick. And a fair catch called for and successfully completed down around the 16-yard line by the Archbold offense. And that was Rodriguez who caught that football. It'll be 1st down and 10 at the 16-yard line. So the Bears had the football, looked like they were driving, and then the holding call turned everything south. And now Archbold will have the football for the very first time this evening at the 9:28 mark. Looks very similar to this Bryan offense as they've got the quarterback in the pistol look and the running back to his right. Triples to the top, single running back to the bottom. They will roll towards the right side. Peterson will throw, and it's over everybody's head and out of bounds. So Gabe Peterson, the sophomore, pretty good size young guy, Chris, at 6 foot, 160 pounds.
He is, and he did a nice job running to the right and throwing to his right, just overthrew him. Definitely not a drop back passer. He's more of an on the run kind of passer.
Another one of those young guys that can run again, good size, good mobility. Now they're going to send 4 wide receivers to the top of the screen on the visitor side and a single guy on the bottom. They'll empty out the backfield and look for him, Peterson, maybe to run this one. Wagner shows a little bit of blitz, then he steps back out. Now here he comes. Jet sweep will go around the right corner, and that's Rodriguez, and he'll get across the 25 or the 20 to the 21, maybe the 22-yard line. So give him about 6, depending on where they're going to put him. Oliphant with the tackle for the defense there for the Golden Bears. Jordan Armbruster,
Walker?
the one, yeah, it was. Yep, in fact, it was. So it's 3rd down and 4 with 8:50 to play here in this first quarter. Peterson drops and throws, and he's got his guy for the first down close to the 30-yard line. In fact, he'll sneak across that 30-yard line to the 35. That was Seth Mayer on the reception, the senior. And you can see why they moved him from the quarterback spot back out into that receiver spot there, Chris.
Pick up of about 6.
First down and 10. 8:43 to go first quarter. Doubles come on this side. Single to the top. They go back to that traditional running back look as Walker's in the backfield. Peterson will keep that one. He'll come right up the B gap for a couple yards, get him the 30-yard line. 35-yard line, I'm sorry.
Pick up of about 3 on that one.
Second down and call it a long 6 or a short 7. 8:13 to play here in the opening quarter. Nobody has scored. Bears had the ball, had to kick the football back. Get an empty backfield look here as there's 5 receivers on the field. They'll fake that jet sweep. No, they gave it to the receiver. Coming around the end is Mayer, and Mayer will be close to the first down as he's knocked out of bounds on the Bryan side across the 40-yard line, just about the 41. He's going to be about a yard short, maybe 2. It'll be 3rd down and 2. And that did look like he maybe got a little more crisp than what they gave him credit for down on this side.
Yep, absolutely.
Ball is actually just on the Archbold side of the 40-yard line, so he has to go out to the 42, so just over 2 yards. They'll stack 3 on the visitor side now. A single receiver here on the home side and a running back in the backfield to the right of the quarterback. Peterson will come right forward. Not a lot of room, but he'll be close depending on where this forward progress will end up. And they're starting to move the sticks. And let's see, they started to move the sticks. Now they stopped. And now they will move the chains. It will be just exactly what he needed, plus probably about a foot or so. 7:19 to play here in the second quarter. And this could be an interesting situation here because the officials now talking to one another, and it appears that they may not have decided. Well, now they're going to say the side judge on the visitor's side has made up his mind it was a first down.
Wow. Well, I thought he had to get all the way to the 42, and he's past the 42. So
yeah, so I would agree with that.
Look where the down marker is. The down marker is at the 40.
Yeah.
So they have to move. There we go.
There we go. Now we're getting to where it needed to be. You got it right, Chris. He got that thing by a good almost a yard, at least a half a yard with that play.
You gotta wait till the official signals you to move.
Empty backfield again, triples to the top, doubles to the bottom. Peterson going to fire in a hurry across the middle, and Wagner puts the big pop on the receiver coming across the middle. That was Joe Reeker coming across the center of the field, and Wagner, number 55, lowered his shoulder and met him in mid-stride. Interesting situations. You'll watch the replay right here. Big pop. Forget we're back at the home field here. I get to look up at this little monitor and watch things the second time again. Farrell in on the right end right now. Armbruster on the left side. Hall in the middle for the Bears. 4 linebackers here spread across the field. Single back in the backfield to the left of the quarterback. 3 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Peterson rolls to his right. Now he's going to cut field back towards the home side. He's at midfield and into Bryan Goldberg territory. He'll be very close to that first down as he's back to about the 48-yard line, and we just have to see where they sit that ball down.
I think he's going to be short by about a yard. Nope.
They're going to say first down, so we got 10 on that one, and the ball now spotted at the 47-yard line of the Golden Bears. First down and 10 for Archbold. Peters sends Rodriguez to the sideline. Puts Reeker and Mayer to the top of the screen. On the bottom side, you have Walker and also Isaac Peterson right in front of us. Single back in the backfield, and they send number 12 Walker in motion, and now we have a whistle before anything got started. And I believe Archbold was moving a little bit early.
Still first down.
I don't know if you can hear the official in the background, but he is mic'd up.
First down now in 15 at the 6:55 mark here, quarter number 1. No score between the Streaks and the Bears here in the first quarter, and we'll keep an eyeball on some scores around the area. In fact, at the end of the first quarter, we'll get the big fella, Big Chris Bryce, to kind of chat with us a little bit about what's going on. Toby Walker here in front of us, and they'll send now number 12, Derek Walker, in motion. And Sam Peterson will hang on to the football, and he'll get about a yard, maybe 2 of them back as he'll get back into Golden Bear territory. Sam Peterson, the sophomore, the running back that they've used primarily so far here tonight, Chris. They'll give him a couple, 2.5, maybe 3. What do you say? How many $5 footlongs you're going to give him for that one?
I gave him 2, but
okay, give him 2.
looks like he may have given him 3 based on the spot. So we'll go back to
Second and 13 here as Reekers lines up in the slot. Triples here on the bottom. Peterson looking to run. Bears around him, and they've got him trapped right at midfield, and they'll drop him right there. Good job again by Wagner for the Bears. Dylan Wagner, the junior, has just kind of been all over the place here tonight. He's every week just seems to get a little bit better and a little bit better, and it's really good to see him come back. Third down now at about 12, almost 13, as the ball's just short of the 49-yard line of the Golden Bears. Just under 6 minutes to play first quarter.
Archbold has gotten both their first downs, their third down conversions.
Third down and 13, they've been very good at that. Single wide receiver here on the home side, 4 receivers to the top. Peterson drops and looks to throw. Now he's going to run. He's got a Bear coming up on him, and he'll charge him, and this ball will go through the hands of the intended receiver down at the 31-yard line. That was number 12, Derek Walker, and had Walker been able to hold on to that when he had a first down and then some, as he had to get down to about the 37, and the ball went through his hands at the 30-yard line. Good coverage by the Bears, but it'll set up 4th down and 13 now. And the Bears, I'm sure, are going to watch for maybe a fake kick right here.
I think you're probably going to see him just go for it on this side of the 50. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe they will kick.
Ball is just on the Bryan side of the 50, and they're showing every indication of going to kick this thing away as Walker drops back to kick. Jones the only guy on the backfield. Here comes the rush. Culler got there. He bumped him, and they're going to get him for running into the kicker, maybe roughing the kicker. We're just going to have to see. Sam Culler came in. He did knock Derek Walker down, and now it's just going to be a matter of how they call this thing. It was not really a blatant run. It was not a blatant hit. The ball basically landed down around the 34-yard line. And they go to the sideline and talk a little bit to the coach. Coach Dominic has made up his mind.
Into the kicker.
There you go, running into the kicker.
On the receiving team, that's a 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So it's still 4th down, and that was a good call because he did. Sam Culler basically came up in the air, hit his feet, and then just kind of brushed into Derek Walker, as he was going to head through him. Walker did get hit. He did go down. He got the kick away.
Bears came with full house, though, didn't they?
They sure did, and it looks like they're going to send them all back one more time. 3 protectors. High snap that floated. Walker has this one away. Josh Jones will try to track it down. It bounces to the 20, takes a Bryan bounce, basically kind of backspins just a little bit at the 17-yard line. And the Bears will have that football first down and 10 with 5:11 to play here in the first quarter. We'll take a quick timeout. No score here at BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, sorry about that for a couple of minutes there. We were on or may not have been on. Damon Belts with the football as he comes around the left end. He's going to get about 8 as he sweeps around that left end, and I can see the game plan right now. They're going to try to wear this much smaller defense down if they possibly can here tonight, and I like the strategy tonight, Chris, to see Damon Belts. In fact, I told somebody today, good evening tonight for a young guy like Belts to put a bunch of yards on the scoreboard. I'm hoping you're typing his name down numerous times here tonight.
Well, he had one called back that was 33 yards, so.
Doubles to the top, doubles to the bottom. Novus will call his own number this time. We've got a flag in the middle of the pile. He's got the first down as he's out to about the 28-yard line, but we'll have to just see what the penalty is, and it looks like it might be a holding call against the Bears again.
Wow. That's not good. That's their second penalty. It'll be 20 yards.
And both times, you know,
Holding, number 54 in the offense. 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
Cornick was the young guy that got called, and when you take a look at that, it ends up not being quite, it is about a 10-yard penalty because he got the first down really by about a yard. So it'll be second down and 9, though, as the ball moves down inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. 4:22 to go, first quarter. Bears now, again with a pistol look. Bunch doubles to the top, bunch doubles to the bottom. Nova's going to toss this one to the sideline. He's got his guy, and that'll be a first down out across the 28 to about the 29-yard line, Josh Jones. And you know what, I'll tell you what, Mr. Nobis and Mr. Jones are starting to get a little chemistry going with one another.
It's about a 10-yard pickup.
Like to see that an awful lot. You're right, about a 10-yard strike as the ball's out of the 29-yard line, first down and 10.
Zach's first completion of the night. He's 1 for 3.
Rummel back into the ball game here for the Bears. Nelson, 2 guys this side. It looks like it's Jones and Peters in front of us. So that means it's got to be Rummel and somebody else up at the top. Can't tell the jersey number right now. Novus calls his own number, and he is going to just basically get back to the line of scrimmage, and I think where they're going to spot him, he might be a half a yard shy of that. Little quarterback sneak, and the streak's really not biting on that at all. Interior of that defensive line, it's not all that big, Chris, but they're very, very quick. That was the one thing that the coaches were telling me about this bunch. You know, they're not the biggest guys, but boy, they're kind of hard to block here and there. They get where they want to go.
I think that ball may have come loose again.
Damon Belts, he'll hand off football around the right corner. He's still on his feet at the 35-yard line. And again, every time the Archbold defense ripping at that football, Damon Belts with both hands on that ball as he gets to the 35, and will set up now a third down and about 5. Call it 3rd and 4 because they need to get to about the 39-yard line. 3:11 to play, opening quarter. Belts again, the only running back in the backfield. Wing guys with a back in the slot right behind them. They're almost running a single wing look right at this point in time.
Nobis will pick up the first down.
Nobis gets to the 41-yard line. And I can tell you right now, this is kind of the power look that Coach Redhead likes to implement down around the goal line, and it kind of tells you what he thinks he can do against this front of Archbold here tonight. Put it down and move them off the football. 2:44 to go. The Bears have had those 2 penalties tonight, Chris. As you said, the one was on the Damon Belts run of about 26, 27 yards. And that last one, a first down. So both of them have been big. This one has not been costly at this point.
Nope. 20 yards of penalties, though.
Triple guys here on the home side, single guy to the top. Handoff again goes to Belts, and he'll sweep that left end. Round the corner, across the 45, give him 4 big yards. In fact, they'll give him the 46, so give him 5.
26 yards rushing on 5 attempts for Belts. I really wish, you know, and this will come as Novus gets a little bit more familiar with things, but I wish he would continue to carry that fake right.
Yeah.
Because some of the Archbold team was heading towards Novus. He needs to carry that a little bit further and draw some of the defense.
Those are some of the subtleties that you're right, Chris. As the time goes on, he'll get better and better. And, you know, we've had 2 or 3 Friday nights where we've watched the ball go the wrong direction, and I'm sure Zach will have that same situation. Belts around the right corner. He gets enough for the first down as he falls into Archbold territory at about the 48, but there's 2 yellow flags back around the 44-yard line of the Golden
We're going
Bears.
to see a block in the back or a hold.
Minute and a half to go here in this first quarter, and again, another big holding penalty against the Golden Bears. That's 3 of them already tonight.
Yep.
So instead of being in the Archbold end of the football field across the 50 at about the 48-yard line.
74 the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Travis Beck this time with the call. And this will take us all the way back inside the 35-yard line of the Golden Bears to the 34 and set up a second down at about 16.
That one was pretty definitive because 2 different officials threw flags in.
Yeah, they were both watching the same spot, weren't they, huh?
Yep.
So the Bears now, instead of having the ball in Archbold territory, first down and 10, will have second down and long as they send triples to the top and a single to the bottom. Damon Belts again in the backfield. Novus drops back. He's got heat coming. He steps away from it. He's at the 35, still on his feet at the 40-yard line. Nice job by Austin Wilson to grab him by the back of the shirt and knock him down because Novus had a little more running room. But Austin didn't give up on the tracking job that he had going on there. It'll be third down now at about 12. Minute and 14 to play here in a kind of a slow first quarter for us. We've been accustomed to watch these quarters go zipping by, Chris.
Yes, we have.
And this one has moved a little slower, a few incompleted passes here. So it's third down and 11 for the Bears. Under a minute to play now, first quarter. Doubles to the top, doubles to the bottom. They'll hand the ball off to Damon Bells. He's got room on the left side. He's into he's at the 45-yard line. Got off by a couple of yards there. Up about 5 yards. He'll be shy of that first down by about 6 as we need to get the Archbold 49-yard line for the first down. And the Bears are going to have to kick this one away.
Yep.
So the Bears have had the ball twice. They've driven the ball both times, but they've not really been able to sustain that drive and have had to kick the football away. Nick Rodriguez will drop back deep for Archbold. He's just inside the 20-yard line at the 19. Josh Jones, nice snap, good kick, nice high angling kick to the right side. It'll bounce. Rodriguez will pick it up at the 14. He's on his feet at the 17 and out of bounds across the 20 at about the 22-yard line. Rodriguez was trying to make that change down there along that sideline and tried to make the cut, but he was 2 yards out of bounds. So it'll be first down and 10 now with 11 seconds to play in the first quarter. Archbold will have the football back. Again, no score here early. Both these teams have had trouble scoring points this year, Chris, and I guess we've seen why so far early. Both teams have been able to get a little bit of a drive going, and then they shoot themselves in the foot somehow and end up having to kick the football back. Triples go to the top, single running back in the backfield. They'll send a receiver in motion, the straight handoff. This guy's got some room at the 30-yard line, at the 31-yard line. That's 28. Sam Peterson. So Peterson will have enough for the first down, and the clock will run all the way down to 4 seconds, and we have a flag right there at the 31-yard line.
Late hit on Bryan.
That could be a late hit against Bryan.
So if that is a personal foul against the Bears, and that's not going to be a good situation for the Golden Bears as they will move this football up across the 40-yard line.
Personal
The
foul.
ball will go to
Number
the
56 of the
46.
defense. 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
A little too much enthusiasm right there by the Golden Bears defense.
So I think he got the number wrong, but that's okay because I believe it was Wagner, 55, who's had a pretty good night so far and just got there a little bit late. That's going to do it for the first quarter as the clock will run out as it's reset. We've hit triple zeros here at Golden Bear Stadium. We'll step away. No score on BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium as the Blue Streaks are ready to go, and this first pass by Peterson is over the head of the intended receiver and incomplete down around the 30-yard line as he was trying to go for 28. I believe he sent his wide receiver, his running back, Sam Peterson.
One of the Bryan players wants something.
Peterson again lines up in the flank on the visitor side as they go empty backfield. Peterson throws it across the middle of the football field. It's caught, and it'll be Derek Walker, and Walker will have enough for the first down as he's into Golden Bear territory down around the 42-yard line.
Pickup of 12.
So Peterson now will bring, Gabe will bring Sam back in the backfield to his right. And the quarterback will come forward here, and he'll be down across the 40 to about the 39-yard line. So G. Peterson with that carry, give him about 3, just underway second quarter. Second down at about 7 right now for the Blue Streaks.
He's pretty quick.
Yeah, he is. Both these young guys, both the Petersons are both sophomores, both of them about the same size, about 6 foot, 160 pounds. Gabe will take the ball and drop back, looking to throw. We've got a flag in the backfield, and this one is almost swatted away by Josh Jones as the ball was thrown in triple coverage, and this one will go against the Archbold Blue Streaks.
Yep.
Probably a holding call or
It's a hold.
Be interesting to see what Coach Redhead does with this one here. You got a holding call, and they are going to march it
Number
off.
71 of the offense, 10-yard spot of the foul, still second down.
So the penalty will drive the Blue Streaks back into their side of the 50-yard line at the 49-yard line. And we'll set up now a second down at about 17, almost 18. Yeah, I guess it's closer to 20, isn't it? So both teams have drives going, and then the next thing you know, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot. Triples here on our side, doubles on the top, empty backfield look again. Peterson in the backfield, he drops. He has some time. Here comes Armbruster. He's going to get him and knock him down in the backfield. Inside the 45-yard line, at the 44-yard line. That was big number 19, Jordan Armbruster. Stretch Armstrong, Jordan Armbruster. Armbruster with a nice job to come around that end and put the heat on the quarterback. And the loss now of about 4 yards sets up a third down now, about 24 here for Archbold. The Peterson's in the backfield. Gave the quarterback, his brother Sam, to his right. Triples on the home side, and they send a flanker in motion. They hand the ball off to the running back, and that is Sam Peterson. And Sam has some good running room into Golden Bears territory at about the 44-yard line. So it'll set up a fourth down now at about 12, maybe 13 for Archbold. And Josh Jones will drop back deep. And tell you what, there's been 4 holding calls tonight, Chris, and that one really did Archbold in on this drive.
Yep.
Jones kind of coming forward as he maybe looks for the fake, and here comes the rush. Good pressure by the Bears. Nice high kick sends Josh Jones inside the 10. He'll let the ball roll out of the end zone, and it'll be Golden Bears football on the 20-yard line when you come back. 9:48 to play. Here's second quarter. No score. BryanSports.com. Bears with the football. Play number 1. 9:48 to play, second quarter. Doubles to the top and the bottom, empty backfield. Kuba with the football. He's got good running room across the 25. The pile still moving close to the 27-yard line, and eventually loses its forward progress and goes down right there at around the 27-yard line.
That was actually
wow, that was Rummel, wasn't it? In fact, Blues Creek 17 in the lineup right now. David Rummel was actually back at quarterback at that point in time. Obviously, Rummel a running back. Bears in their purple pants and jerseys, and you're right, he's back there again. Blues Creek actually in a slot receiver, and Rummel again up the middle of the field. He's still on his feet, 40, and finally down at the 45-yard line. So David Rummel with a nice 17-yard pickup on that one. And maybe we've just found a new little wrinkle here tonight, huh? Bears, as I said, in the purple and purple with the gold helmets and the gold numbers, and Archbold in the dark pants with the white shirts. You see the run here on the replay if you're watching it on Friday night or on Saturday night.
Yeah, like one more person to beat.
Yeah, exactly. Rummel again in that backfield. Again, doubles on both sides, and he will call his own number again. He'll come across around the home side and lost his footing as he was trying to cut that one back inside. And he fell down right in front of one of the Archbold players. In fact, the young guy that was there was Dylan Miller, 61. So he lost about 2. It'll be second down now and 12. 8.5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Rummel still back in there. Doubles on both sides, so you've got basically wide receivers all over the place. Josh Jones, ball goes over Rummel's head. He has to go all the way back to the 25 and pick it up, and there's blue streaks all over him back at the 21-yard line.
That wasn't a good play at all.
That ball was snapped hard and high and went soaring over David Rummel's head. He had to go back and field it. By the time he got to it, they're going to say that basically his forward progress was at the 23-yard line. And so that is where they will spot the football.
It's a 20-yard loss.
And the Bears now, well, I'll tell you what, these guys, both these teams have come up with some third and monsters as we've watched this ball game here tonight.
Bryan's 1 for 3 on third down conversions.
Triples to the top, doubles to the bottom. Zach Nobis back in, and Nobis will be dropped for a loss back around the 17-yard line. That was Holden Galvin that knocked him down, and boy, I'll tell you what, that drive went south
Quickly.
very quickly. So Josh Jones now will have to go all the way back to almost his goal line to get this one, as he stands right there at the goal line. He's got Rodriguez standing just on the other side of the 50. Low snap, here comes the rush. Kick might have been blocked a little bit, and it's going to take an Archbold bounce and be down to the 23-yard line of the Golden Bears. So that was a 6-yard kick. Not a good situation. Low snap, and I'm not sure whether they actually got a handle on it or whether he just slid a little bit as he kicked that away. Looked like it could have been blocked just a little bit, and the kick then goes 6 yards up the field, and Archbold now has great field position.
It's actually, no, I guess you're right. It's 6 yards. He's at the 23.
Terrible, isn't it?
It was not blocked,
I'm not.
according to Eric.
It was awful. Yeah, okay, that's good if we can see it on the replay. Peterson going to throw this one deep in the end zone over the head of his intended receiver, who's getting up and asking for a little bit of help. That was Seth Mayer, who was looking for the jury to come in his favor. Garza was back there on the coverage. As you can see the replay right now. No block on the kick. It just was a bad kick. So second down now and 10. Again, ball on the 23-yard line. Peterson's in the backfield. Gabe will call his own number to the left side, and he'll duck his head and get forward for a couple down to about the 21-yard line. So give him 2. We'll set up a third down now and 8 for Archbold. Bears defense going to have to try to bow its back just a little bit after that difficult change of possession, which really put them in a bad spot.
Streaks 3 of 5 on third down.
Chance Taylor into the ball game for Armbruster. 6:03 to play. Peterson all by himself in the backfield, drops back, looks, he's got some heat coming, throws it across the middle, he's got his guy inside the 5. That's Mayer down around the 3-yard line, and it will be first down and goal as Mayer runs that post pattern and finds an open lane, and Peterson able to deliver that football right on the money down to the 2-yard line with 5:51 to go.
19-yard pickup. Wow.
So the Streaks have the football on the 2-yard line of the Golden Bears with the first real opportunity of the night here to maybe score some points. Late receiver Rodriguez up on the top side. Snap goes right back to Walker, and Walker goes off left tackle for the 2 that he needs in the first score of the night. So just like that, Archbold scores first here tonight after the short kick. And for Walker, that 2-yard run. Let's see here on the year. I do believe I've got a stat on him right now. Let's see if we've got that somewhere. Walker has rushed for now 3 touchdowns on the year. Derek Walker. Snap was good. Kick is also good. And just like that, Archbold goes up 7-0 with 5:25 to play here in the first half on BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, Jim and Chris on a Friday night is Seth Mayer about ready to kick this thing off to the Bears. Culler and Jones back at around the 24-yard line right now. Everybody's watching to make sure that everything's going to come deep here with these guys. In fact, we've got Chris Bryce. He's got to have a couple scores of bet down there for us. We'll get to Chris here in just a couple minutes. Kick will go deep. Sam Culler will watch it go into the end zone, now the end zone, and we'll go down to Chris Bryce real quick. Chris, you got some scores for us?
Yeah, Jim, we got Wasion over Liberty Center 7-0. Swanton beating Patrick Henry 14-8. Evergreen over Delta 6-3. It's Gibsonburg over Montpelier 7-6. Ayersville Holgate 0-0. Napoleon over
right now
Maumee.
with the football, I guess we weren't able to get him at all.
Oh, he's been on.
Okay.
Napoleon over Maumee 14-7. Wapakoneta over Defiance 30-0. Shelby over Columbia 19-0. Tenor over Fairview 7-0. And Edgerton over Wayne Trace 12-0. Back up to you.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Nobis, the quarterback this time, and he's going to throw to Jones on this sideline. He's got this man 35-yard line. He'll step out of bounds right in front of his teammates here on the home side. So a nice pickup by the Bears of about 15 yards on that first down play.
Jones now with 2 catches for 35 yards.
Tell you, the Bears have had a couple of hiccups here in this first half. But they have moved the football. They just need to cut down on some of the penalties and the turnovers here, or the bad plays, not turnovers, and they'll be okay. This pass under duress will be a little bit short. Again, same receiver, Josh Jones, up in the right flat, but the ball skipped all the way up to him. Second down now and 10 with 5:01 to play here in the first half.
Novus is 2 of 5 on the night. On the 4th drive here for the Bears.
Bears got into a little wildcat look last time with David Rummel, and everything was working extremely well until the ball got snapped over his head, and a 20-plus yard loss turned what looked to be a promising drive into a short punt, which led to a short field and a touchdown. Peters gets the carry this time, and he will be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. So a short kick gave the Archbold Blue Streaks a very short field, and they were able to capitalize on it. So it'll be 3rd down now and 10.
Bears 1 of 3 on 3rd down.
That has been a problem for them here all night long. Archbold at 3-3 right now in the season. The Bears obviously 0-6. As we said last year, the Bears basically flip-flopped. Archbold was 0-6 on their season. Screen pass out to Peters on the right side, and Peters found a whole bunch of blue streaks in his backfield. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe grab a yard, and that'll be the end of it. And it will be 4th down now. And with 4:09 to play here in the half, Bears are going to have to kick this thing away. Nick Rodriguez again drops back deep for the Archbold Blue Streaks. He's back at his 30-yard line. Josh.
I tell you what, it's the mistakes, the penalties, and the just the mistakes that have killed them here.
Yeah, they've looked pretty good. They just have to get away from a few things. Rodriguez will come up and pick this one up at the 35-yard line. He's still on his feet, but not for long, as he has 3 big guys, including young Mr. Whitler and Mr. Farrell there. They were right there wrapping the young guy up and tossing him down. In fact, Damon Bell's the 3rd guy. So you got Farrell. You got 3 big guys, and let me just give you a description of the young man that caught that football right now. Nick Rodriguez is a sophomore at 5'7", 145 pounds. First guy that he ran across was a guy by the name of Chris Whitler, who is 6'5" and 280 pounds.
Yeah, Chris is a big dude. He's a big dude.
We kind of lost number 14 on the other side of a big monstrous 51 there for a second. 3:38 clock is stopped right now. Archbold has the football, and they scored the last time they had that football. Peterson in the backfield. He'll hand it off to his jet sweep, and Sam Peterson is going to throw it down to Mayer, and Seth Mayer gets behind the defensive back, and inside the 35-yard line, he makes the catch. It gets knocked down by Jake Hausch back in the Bryan 33-yard line.
31 yards.
Looked like a jet sweep coming home side. And then the pass was thrown.
By Meyer?
That was Peterson threw it. Sam Peterson in the backfield now. Gabe Peterson, the quarterback, triples to the top. Gabe gets away from the rush, and then he dumps it into the flats to Mayer, and Mayer has some sideline, and he's up inside the 15-yard line. Nice job by Peterson. He started to give that look like he was going to come running out in that open field. The Bears reacted to him, and they let the wide receiver Mayer get behind him, and Mayer then scoots down inside that 15-yard line to about the 13-yard line. Gabe Peterson, the quarterback, Sam Peterson to his right, doubles to the home side. Mayer's the big wide out here on this side. Rodriguez goes in motion. They'll fake it to him. Gabe Peterson goes off the right side, and he'll be down inside the 10-yard line. Bears will knock him down right around the 9, but give him 4. Clock down to 2:49 and running. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. Second down now at about 6 for the Blue Streaks. Sam Peterson will hustle his way off the sideline. Gavin Grime, the young man that replaced him. Walker gets this sweep around the left end. Bears miss a tackle. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, down close to the goal line. And it will be first down and goal, as they'll say he stepped out of bounds down on the 1-yard line. So Walker, who was the quarterback last year, is now a very, very talented wide receiver / running back, and they will put that football, as you can see it, just inside that 1-yard marker. And Walker is again there, and he will go across for the touchdown. So Walker gets his second touchdown of the night, as both teams trying out that little wildcat look. And Seth Mayer will be on to kick the extra point. Chris, I think I gave you the wrong number for the extra point last time. Seth Mayer, the kicker, in here trying to make this a 14-0 game with 2:11 to play in this first half. And the spot is good and the kick is good. And just like that, Bears find themselves down 2 touchdowns with 2:11 to play in the first half. So we take a timeout here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, 2:11 to play here in this first half, and the Bears now find themselves down 2 touchdowns. Chris, again, I would have to think, now you start to look at that decision as to whether you want to defer to the second half or take that kickoff. Now you might want to change your mind just a little bit.
I don't think you're allowed to do that, though.
I don't think you're allowed to do that either, but boy, I'll tell you, Archbold now has found their rhythm. 2 short drives, but nice drives. And on that one, a whole lot of fancy, as Jimmy Measle would say, trickeration out there. Big, long kick that'll go out of the end zone again. And so the Bears lined up kind of short because they know where that football is going to end up, as Mayer drives this one again through the end zone and out of play. The Bears will have the football at the 20-yard line now.
They got all their timeouts with 2:11 to play.
Well, again, it comes down at this point in time to all these holding penalties that they've had tonight.
They've been penalized 4 times for 45 yards. Actually, 55 yards.
There you go. Bears have Kuba back in at the quarterback spot, single running back right behind him. Triples here on the home side, single running back, single wide receiver to the top. Kuba will drop, and now he will run right up the middle of the field. Cut it to the right side.
That's Novus.
Oh, that is Novus. I'm sorry. At the 40, at the 45, and the 48-yard line. Novus out to the 48-yard line. Nice pickup by Zach. Maybe that'll get him going here just a little bit with 1:59 to play.
28-yard pickup. 29-yard pickup.
Zach Novus with the first down run. Clock is stopped at 1:55, and now it starts up again once they get the sticks where they need to get them. So you see Novus there on the replay. Nice run. Again, Blues Creek to the top of your screen right now. The wide receiver, triples right in front of us, single running back in the backfield. Novus drops, looks to throw, and he's going down that sideline. Underthrown just a little bit, and it's caught by Creek as he comes back to it.
Nope, he said he was bobbled it as he went out of bounds. Why, I tell you what, you got to give him that. He was getting just held the whole way.
Blues Creek all the way down the sideline, was able to come back for that football.
See if we can get this on replay. The whole way up, it was bumping and grinding going on. Oops. Right there, there's a bump.
So it'll be second down and 10 as Blues, they say, was juggling that football on the other side as he went out of bounds with 1:29 to play here in this first half. Getting single back in the backfield. Triples here right in front of us. A single wide receiver to the top. Novus drops. Now he'll roll to his right side. He drops the football, and Archbold, I believe, is on top of it.
Yep.
Ball gets knocked out by number 74, Holden Gavin. So Gavin, the freshman, got in and knocked that thing loose. And just
45.
like that, the Bears give the football back with 1 minute and 22 seconds left to go here in this opening half. And Archbold's offense has basically found their rhythm here going into this second quarter with another touchdown. Man, they could really go into this halftime with a big smile on their face.
And they get the ball.
Throw the ball in the middle. It's caught. House with a big
Amazing
pop.
he was able to hold on to that ball.
But a nice job by the Blue Streaks Walker to pull that one in. Derek Walker with the catch. 1:12 to play, and that clock now starts again as they move the sticks back down the field. First down and 10. Peters drops. Now he's got some heat coming his way. He'll run to the left side and be knocked out of bounds right in front of his bench, down around the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. They'll give him about 3.
I don't know if they're going to give him.
I'm going to say he got right back really to the line of scrimmage, didn't he?
Yeah, just no gain.
So he was out of bounds inside that marker up there, but he must have been out of bounds a couple steps before we could really distinguish where he went out. There's a whole group of people there. Second down and 10, and we have a timeout by the Bears. So with 56 seconds to play in the second quarter, the Bears want to chat some things over. We'll step away too. Bears trail 14-0 here on BryanSports.net. Both the Petersons will line up in the backfield. Gabe to the right of his brother Sam. Sam basically on his shoulder. Doubles on the home side, doubles to the top. They'll bring a flanker in motion, hand the ball to Peterson. He'll try right side. He'll be ridden down by Armbruster for a loss of a couple of yards. So maybe he had the thinking the Bears are going to drop back deep and maybe we can sneak somebody underneath. Didn't work that way all that well. Archbold now will call a timeout as they also had 3 to burn. And I would believe that we're going to stretch this last 49 seconds out a little bit.
Absolutely. We have any score updates down there? Guys, score updates?
You got it.
I have
Over Patrick Henry 35-8.
No, Chris.
Delta over Evergreen
Chris
10
is
to
being
6.
I hear him in the background, but I don't hear it on.
And Wasion over Liberty Center 7-0, and that's the NWOL score. Oh, we got some other time. How about Tenora over Fairview 21-0? Edgerton over Wayne Trace 20-6. That's at half. And last I knew, the mighty Montpelier Locomotives were getting beat by Gibsonburg 7-6. Back up to you.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Back here, the Bears trail 14-0 here with 49 seconds left to go. Tell you, Wapak's just laying it on Defiance right now, 36-0. Holy smokes. Archbold now will empty out the backfield. They'll put Peterson in the backfield all by himself. 4 wide receivers here on the home side, a single guy to the top. Ball comes back. Peterson's going to run this thing up the left side. He will get back to the 30 and be cut out right there at the 34. And I would bet they'll call a quick timeout with 42 seconds to go.
They did. So 4th down.
4th down and about 8, and now they will decide what they want to run here for this one. They've been pretty good on 3rd down, haven't they, Chris, huh?
Yeah, they're 4 of 6 on 3rd down.
Again, ball game tonight being brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, always backing our athletes. Bryan Ford Lincoln, we're just down the road from high prices. Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable and high-speed internet provider. Genesis Healthcare Bryan Center, where your friends, your family, and your neighbors. Krill Funeral Home. Commitment to service is our #1 priority. Northwest State Community College, helping you take that next step to a new job or a new career. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of service for all types of people. The Plaza Motel, home away from home. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Tompkinson BMW, home of the ultimate driving machine, and also Whelan's Automotive Dealership quality at aftermarket pricing. Think the young Mr. Mayor's got a leg?
I don't know.
We'll see here. 35-yard line is where they're going to put it down at, so that'll make it a 45-yard try for Seth Mayer. He has got a boomer, and this thing is going, and it's got plenty of leg. Is it straight? Yes, it is. So Mayer knocks one through from 45, almost 46 yards, and it's 17-0 now with 36 ticks left on this clock. And I'll tell you what, I think Coach Dominic was a little confident with that one, don't you think, Christopher?
Yes, he was. Wow.
So
that's crazy.
That was I'll tell you what, Seth Mayer has showed you that on the kickoffs. That's why the Bears really have lined everybody up kind of close, because he's got that big booming leg. And, man, 45. What did you call that? You're the official scorekeeper. You get a 45 or 46?
45. 46, I mean.
Okay, so 46 yards
the
there.
The spot was what, the 29?
No, it would have been the 20. It would have been the 36.
36.
If it's 46.
Yeah, I think that's where it was. Yep.
So Jones and Keller will drop back deep. 46-yard field goal by Mayer will make this a 17-0 football game as we head towards the half. And I'll tell you what, I've been pretty impressed with this bunch that came over here to play football tonight in these white shirts. They have really come over and played some ball in this first half. If the Bears came in a little bit high after that almost win in Wauseon last week, well, they've gotten a kind of a rude awakening here on this Friday night. And again, Mayer will kick this one deep and out of the end zone, and the Bears will have the football on the 20-yard line with 36 seconds left to go and 2 timeouts if they happen to need one. That was a beautiful kick.
Yeah, he did have the wind in his back. The wind's coming this way too, so.
Not really a heavy wind, though, at this point, but probably, what would you say, 5 to 7 miles, something like that?
Look at those flags down there, though.
Yeah, just there's a little bit of a wind out there, maybe 10. But it was a heck of a kick.
Yes,
that young guy's got a big leg.
Eric tells us it has picked up a little bit out there because we're starting to hear it in the crowd mics.
There you go. Nova's the quarterback, and he will call his own number, coming straight up the middle of the field. He's still on his feet at the 30-yard line, down at the 31-yard line. That'll be pretty close to a first down. Should be a first down. Should stop everything, move some chains, and they will move the chains now with 29.5 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Nova's back into the huddle. It was a very slow first quarter, and then all of a sudden, Archbold able to find the scoreboard here in this second period, and Novus will keep this around the right corner at the 40, falls backwards across the 42, maybe the 43-yard line with 5 seconds left to go here in the first half. And the Bears will allow that clock to run. Probably one more play. Nope, we'll wind the clock, and that's going to do it. So we're heading towards the intermission here at Bryan. We'll have the Archbold Band and the Bryan Band here tonight that will perform for you, but we're going to step away right now. When we come back, we'll get you some stats. We'll check in on some scores. Bears find themselves down 17-0 here at the half at BryanSports.com.
Halftime at Golden Bears Stadium, 17-0. The Blue Streaks over Bryan. Here on BMU TV, Chris Malenga and Jim Funderburg. And Jim, rough night so far for the Golden Bears, but that's all self-inflicted.
Yeah, it has been. It really has been all night long. Bears have had a couple of good drives started, and then holding penalties have cost them some big plays. Then a very short kick of just 6 yards has set up really the Blue Streaks for their first touchdown. Mm-hmm. And you've got to be impressed whenever you can see a young guy strap one up from 46 yards out and bang it through like he's done it every afternoon of his life. And that was exactly what Seth Mayer did right before the half here on us. And, we kind of wondered what they were going to do when they called that timeout. Then they set what looked to be the offense kind of came out on the field, and then they set up for the kick. And that young guy has been banging them out of the end zone on kickoffs all night long. And he was just as good on that field goal attempt. So 17-0. If Archbold didn't get the message, they were supposed to be a friendly bunch coming over here tonight, which is going to help us get a win this evening. And I guess what we found out is exactly how tough Archbold has been all year long at 3-3. Obviously with just the one win last week, 7-6 over PH in conference. But it's a football team that I've been pretty impressed with tonight. They've
they've not done what we've done. They've not shot themselves in
Nope.
the foot when they had their opportunities.
They have not. Why don't we take a look at some stats, Jim? Bryan has 8 first downs, 6 of those by rush, 2 by pass. Archbold 9, 3 by rush, 5 by pass, 1 by penalty. Bryan has rushed for 98 yards on 20 attempts. Their long rush was 29 by Nobis. Archbold. I'm looking at last week's or a couple weeks ago's team name. Archbold has 101 yards on 21 attempts. Their long was 19. Passing, Bryan is 2 of 6 for 25 yards. Archbold, meanwhile, 6 of 10 for 101 yards. Bryan ran 28 offensive plays to Archbold's 30. Bryan has 123 total yards to Archbold's 202. Time of possession, Bryan actually has the edge, 13:49 to 10:20. Third down conversions, Bryan is 1 of 4, 25%. Archbold 2/3, 4 of 6. Neither team has gone for it on 4th down. Archbold has been in the red zone twice and has scored twice. Bryan has been penalized 4 times for 45 yards. Archbold just twice for 15 yards. And Archbold does have 1 field goal and 2 extra points. So the kicking game has been very good for Archbold. Taking a look at the statistics individually, Bryan's leading rusher is Zach Nobis with 63 total yards on 8 carries. David Belts, who we saw early in the first quarter, but not much after that, has 31 carries on 31 yards on 6 carries rather. Rummel, 3 yards on 4 carries. He had a big 17-yard pickup. We used him from some Wildcats where he had 8 and then 17 yards, but then a bad snap took him, kind of negated that. Passing again, Novus 2 of 6. He has passes of 25 yards, 10 and 15 yards. And his receiver was Josh Jones with both of those receptions for 25 yards. Bryan, of course, penalized, as I said, for 45 yards. 30 of those came on the offensive line. There were 3 offensive holding passes and 1 defensive penalty for 15 yards. Archbold, meanwhile, taking a look at their individual statistics, their leading rusher is Peterson. That would be the younger Peterson, Sam Peterson, or 32 total yards on 5 carries. Walker has 31 total yards on 5 carries. G. Peterson has 9 carries for 13 yards. Mayer, 2 carries for 25 yards. Peterson is 5 of 9 passing, 69 yards. His longest pass was of 19 yards. His leading receiver was Mayer, who has 75 of those yards. Walker with 12 of those yards. They were penalized twice, once offensively for 5 and once defensively for 10. There you have it, 17-0. And we're going to get ready for the Bryan High School Marching Band.
The marching band is polishing a new avenue of performance, ways to expand your halftime experience. Last year it was climbing. Tonight we open with an opening act. It features freshman Peyton Jessing and Isaiah Taylor, and will close the performance by the band. We're in the mood for a melody that was released in 1972, long before any of these folks were born. Here is Billy Joel's Piano Man. The marching band would like to thank Mr. Neff and his march students for their assistance tonight with the props for the piano man portion of our show. Our next chart is by Group Chicago, who formed in 1967. It was on their album Chicago 2, which was released in June of 1970 and reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. It is about the process of writing a song. You won't find us waiting for breakup day, which is 6:12 a.m. this morning. Here it is, 25 or 624.
Blending experiences with many genres, cultures, and historical periods is a mark of outstanding high school music programs, such as those found in both Bryan and Archbold schools. The Blue Streak Marching Band expresses a sincere thank you for the invitation to join the Golden Bears on the field this time, as these fine young musicians combine to bring you a traditional classic that both groups have studied. Many of you will recognize this 19th century Christian hymn written by Horatio Spafford. In a span of 5 years, Spafford's only son died of illness. All his real estate investments were burned, and his 4 remaining daughters were drowned in an Atlantic shipwreck. Yet Spafford's response captured in this song was not despair. Rather, he wrote his simple declaration of faith, "It is well with my soul." Ladies and gentlemen, your Bryan and Archbold marching band.
Halftime at Golden Bears Stadium, 17-0 Archbold. We'll be back with the second half action after this on BMU TV.
Welcome back here at Golden Bear Stadium. Jim and Chris on a Friday night, 106 and counting here before we're going to get things ratcheted back up here for quarter number 3. Bears down 17-0 on what has been a pretty tough second quarter for the Bears. It was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, and the Bears outscored 17-0 here in that second period. Hey, Chris Bryce maybe might have a couple of updates for us there. Does he?
Do we have any updates?
Did we catch any of that stuff at halftime here tonight?
Yeah, hey, you there, Jim?
There you go. I can hear him now.
Heard you had a little problem earlier.
Eric, he has to be in the right channel, just FYI.
All right, you guys ready for some scores here
Let's do
around
it.
Northwest Ohio? We got Wauseon over Liberty Center 7-0. All these scores are at the half, by the way. It's Swanton over Patrick Henry 35-16. Delta's beating Evergreen 17-12. Gibsonburg over Mighty Montpelier 7-6. It's Ayersville over Holgate 19-0. Napoleon beating Maumee 21-7. Wapakoneta is whopping Defiance 44-0. Shelby over Columbia 39-7. And Tenora's beating Fairview 21-0. And Edgerton over Wayne Trace 20-6. That's all I got for you now. Back up to you guys.
There you go. It's always good to hear Chris's voice here on a Friday night.
No doubt about that. So
Bears find themselves down now 17-0, Chris, and that makes it a little bit difficult.
Yes, it does, and they don't get the ball.
No, and so you brought up a very interesting point a minute ago, and that is, do we onside kick right now?
Well, I mean, the Archbold drives have started at their own 16, their own 20, then Bryan's 23, their own 36, and Bryan's 45. And the last 3 they scored on. So they scored on when they were on their own 36, and they've scored when they're on Bryan's 23. So,
yeah,
I
really.
mean, you know, I think you need to do something to swing the momentum this way.
Yeah, you know, it really does go back to that short punt, because the Bears really had a couple of decent drives going. They had the holding penalties that we talked about a couple different times right now that really stalled the drives out, and then that 6-yard kick, which gave Archbold great field position. They took advantage of it and made it 7-0. And from that point on, it seemed like their offense was in gear and working pretty darn well.
Yep.
And the Bears right now still trying to struggle and find a way to get something going. And maybe you're right, Chris. Maybe that's something that would turn the momentum just a little bit.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. And everybody, I think, from everybody basically that was with us last week down at over at Wauseon do realize how good Josh Jones is at onside kicking. That was just an excellent little kick that just rolled and then took that big high kick and bounce as we flip-flop people now from the left side to the right side. Bears will be kicking off from the left to the right. And Archbold will sending some folks back deep here to receive that football. Derek Walker is number 12, and he will be one of the up guys along with Joe Reeker and Seth Mayer on the home side here on our side, and then Rodriguez to the top on the visitor side. They stand back at the 10-yard line. And all of a sudden, Archbold kind of comes moving a little bit forward. Jones will kick this one to the up guys. It will bounce and be picked up at the 18-yard line, 16-yard line by number 5, Mayer. And Mayer will get it across the 20, close to the 25-yard line. And that will be where the Blue Streaks will send the offense out here to get things going in the third quarter. They'll have the ball first down and 10 on their own 25. Well, the Bears could use something right now, Chris, whatever it might be, a fumble, a turnover, whatever the break right now would be big, I think, for this football team. But I guess, lacking that, they need to have a good offensive series here, a defensive series here, and hold this offense, get the football back right away. Empty look here now. Again, Peterson in the backfield. He'll drop and look to throw, and he tosses the ball over everybody's head as the Bears had pretty good coverage. Derek Walker, the intended receiver, out about the 37-yard line, but he had coverage just underneath of him.
And there's a flag.
Flag down around the 21-yard line. And we'll
71 offense, 10 yards spot of the foul, still first down.
Cash Garricky, the sophomore tackle, called for the holding, and the ball now moves all the way back to the 11-yard line. So it'll be first down now, and
they've now been penalized 35 or 25 yards.
There you go. So they started on their 25. That makes it first down at about 25 now. And they will hand the ball off to Sam Peterson. And Peterson tries to break a tackle. Got through one guy, but then got hooked up and was dropped after he got out to about the 14-yard line. Give him 3. Second down at about 22. Hall on the tackle for the Bears. Just underway here, third quarter. As Archbold now, interesting to see how they will run their offense right now, Chris, whether they will be as wide open as what they were or whether they will take their time and be patient, try to get a little bit of yards here and get out of the hole. They'll hand off to Peterson again, and Peterson will be ridden down for basically no gain, in fact, maybe losing a yard. So a very conservative call as a counterplay off right guard goes for a lack of about a yard. And it'll be third down now at about 21 yards for Archbold.
As they move all the way back inside the 15 at about the 14, they had to bring the ball just across the 35-yard line to get a first down. Triples go to the top, single down to the bottom, single running back in the backfield. It's both the Peterson twins. Peterson, Gabe rolls towards his right, looking to throw, lobs it, and I believe it's caught out around the 30-yard line, or was he out of bounds? Ball was caught. I believe that was Mayer that pulled it in, number 5, clear on the other side of the field, right in front of his bench. When he got down over there, he blended in with all the other white shirts. Looked like he caught the ball, but he was out of bounds, and the incompletion will set up a fourth down. Now the Bears should be looking at some pretty good field position as Josh Jones stands right at the midfield stripe waiting for this punt. Walker will kick it away from his goal line. A little bit of wind is coming at his face. Good rush, short kick. Bears scatter as it takes a Bears bounce backwards inside the 35 and will be down at the 34-yard line. So the Bears will have the football.
That's the best field position they've had the whole night.
They're going to say that it was down at the 33, not the 34. It will be first down and 10 now for the Golden Bears. And you're right, Chris. Great field position.
It's the first time they've started a drive in Archbold territory.
That's good news. Just underway, Bears now come back out with Peters at the running back spot. Novus again the quarterback. Doubles on both sides and they're bunched in tight. Novus will throw. He's got his guy caught and out of bounds. It's Rummel at the 26-yard line. So David Rummel will get 7 before Alvarado knocks him out of bounds, and it will be second down now and about 3 for the Bears. And they'll say 6 now, where he stepped out of bounds was about the 27-yard line, not the 26. Again, Peters the running back in the backfield. So the Bears have shown some different looks here tonight.
And David Belts isn't out there at all.
They'll hand it to Peters. He'll sweep left side, and he's got a Peterson in the backfield with him, and Sam Peterson will knock Peters down in the backfield for a loss of about 6, maybe 7, as he's clear outside the 35 at the 36-yard line, and that left side just collapsed. And Sam Peterson able to step around the corner and just basically waited for Drew Peters as he was trying to sweep on that other side. So they're actually going to put him back at about the 36. So third down now at about almost 14 for the Bears. Again, Peters in the backfield. Triples here on the home side. Single guy to the top. Novus will roll to his left, and now he's going to run out of time and get into a lot of trouble, and he'll be dropped right around the 41-yard line. So, again, great pressure by Archbold. Novus could not get rid of the football, and the loss will take him all the way back to the 41-yard line. Zimmerman on the tackle for Archbold, and it will set up a fourth down now. And the Bears have to go all the way down to the 23-yard line, so it's fourth down and 18. Might as well from here, Chris. Maybe get a little magic here and maybe change that momentum that you talked about. Getting Peters in the backfield all by himself. Triples right here in front of us and a single guy to the top. Novus drops. Here comes Peterson, and Peterson knocks Novus down and also separates him from the ball. It doesn't really matter. I believe Archbold fell on it. Either way, it was going to be Archbold football right around the 44-yard line.
Wow, that was a nice job right there.
You got to be very impressed with the speed of this Archbold defense, as the Bears had great field position and then just continued to put that direction finder on that southern course, and they kept heading backwards. So Archbold will have great field position now at the 44-yard line. Peter, it's actually a direct snap back to Derek Walker, who's now playing quarterback, and Walker finds a little bit of room and gets up the field to the 50-yard line. So he got about 5 on that first down carry. Both teams now changing some quarterbacks on the fly. Obviously, Walker played quarterback all last year.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going to be able to step right in there without any change.
And it will be Walker again, all by himself. He's got 2 backs right in front of him on the wing.
He'll fake the handoff to the jet sweeper and go right up the middle for another nice gain of about 3. He'll be inside Bryan territory now at the 47-yard line, so it'll be third down now at about 2.
Archbold is 57% from third down.
Been pretty solid here tonight all the way around. Walker again in that Wildcat look. I think he's got both the Petersons in front of him. And he will have the first down. He's still on his feet inside the 40, and it'll be close to the 37-yard line before the Bears knock him down. And I'll tell you, the interior of that offensive line for Archbold also doing a nice job of opening up some holes here tonight.
16-yard pickup.
Very impressive performance tonight for Archbold. After that scoreless
7 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
midway through the second quarter, and a 17-0 lead.
Empty look now for Walker. 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom.
5 receivers, 3 on the right, 2 on the near side.
They said,
I think that'll be a false start on Archbold.
in fact, they've gone back to Peterson as Walker actually was lined up in a slot and went on in motion.
Still first.
So we're going to have to watch the numbers here the rest of the night, it looks like, Christopher, between 10 and 12. First down now at about 15 for Archbold. The clock stops at 7:02 to play in the third quarter. Bears down 17-0 here. And they really let one get through their fingers on that last drive there, Chris, as they had great field position and couldn't make anything happen. An empty backfield. Peterson now the quarterback, and their left tackle jumps off sides, moving just a little bit early as Cash Garricky. And that'll cost them another 5 yards. So both of these teams have had some troubles with penalties here.
5 penalties for 35 yards for Archbold.
Ball now back on the 47-yard line. Still first down, but it's first down and 20. As a couple of false start penalties have moved the blue streak backwards. That's about the only thing that's moving them backwards here in this third quarter. Again, empty backfield. Peterson takes the ball, and he'll go straight forward, and the Bears right there waiting on him. That's Farrell and Hall. Peterson will get about a yard out of that thing. Second down now, 19. The other side of it, Chris, right now, with the 17-point cushion, you probably want to run a little bit of clock.
Absolutely. Clock is running at 6:04 and counting.
Reeker checks into the ball game for Archbold, number 7. Peterson will stay all by himself in that backfield, and he will send to the top Sam Peterson, Mayer, and Reeker. Doubles here on the bottom side. He'll drop straight back, and now he's going to try to run right up the middle of the field. Farrell's got him. He was awful close to the line of scrimmage. He pulled it backwards and threw the ball down the field, and it was knocked away. Reeker was the intended receiver, and he would have been ahead for the first down if he could have caught it. A couple of Bears back there, including Sam Culler and Josh Jones, were able to knock that ball loose. And I'll tell you what, very close to being over the line of scrimmage was Gabe Peterson as he thought he was going to take off running. Then he stopped and backpedaled.
And there was a totally missed chop block there.
So it's third down now and 19. I was expecting Peterson to take off. He had it just figured out where that line of scrimmage was, and he backpedaled just in time and then fired it down the field. The ball really was on the money. Peterson looks, got time, throws it into the left flat. He's got his man. That's Derek Walker, and Walker has the football. He will be stopped at the 31-yard line, which will leave him about 3 yards short.
But it's a pickup of 15, but he needed more than that.
Yeah, so it's basically a fourth down now and a long 3.
That was Walker, right?
That was Walker. That's a pretty good combination between those two young guys.
Yes, it is.
So the ball at the 30, they need to go right down to about the 27. So it's fourth down and 3. 5:03 to play here in the third quarter. Bears really need to slow this offense down a little bit. Mayer goes to the top of the screen. Peterson will bring it straight forward, and he runs into the Bears off defensive line, and I believe that was Brant Hall. The ball is loose, but it's already down. Brant Hall make the stop right at the line of scrimmage. Ball will go over on downs as Peterson ran into a brick wall as he was trying to head right up the middle of that offensive line looking for a little bit of a hole. And Brant Hall said, not tonight. So the Bears will have the football back on downs, and I think that's been a couple of times tonight for those guys. They've gone for fourth down a couple times.
That was the first time they went for
first time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it'll be Bears football on their own 30-yard line. 4:47 to play third quarter.
The 8th drive for Bryan tonight.
And Rummel will come in at quarterback now. Doubles on the top, doubles on the bottom. David Rummel, the quarterback. Look for these guys to run this football. Rummel takes the football left side. He'll have room out to the 35-yard line, so give Dave about almost 5.
Totally don't understand the Wildcat because he's not coming in to hand the ball off.
Yeah, well,
you
he's
know what I mean?
all by himself back there, and you would just expect, commit to it. If that's what you're going to do, then put him out there and let's run it for the rest of the night. Looks like Nobis is back on the football field now.
I wonder if Damon Belts got hurt. He did. He's on crutches.
Ah, there you go.
Sideline.
Well, that might have changed everything at that point in time.
All right, at the end of the half, he was carted off. They're telling us.
Again, Rummel into the quarterback position, and he'll have short yardage this time right up the middle, and we have Laundry right in the middle of the pile along with everybody. Holding call will go against the Bears.
It's the 4th holding call tonight.
Mistakes and critical times tonight for the Golden Bears.
And that had to change an awful lot of their game plan tonight, I would think, with Damon Belts going out with that bad wheel.
Still second.
So the Bears get the penalty, which will move them backwards. It'll remain second down, but it'll be
19.
second down and long now.
Man, that's tough.
Travis Beck was the young man that got
stop
called.
that. Gotta stop that.
Well, you take a look at it, and you've got to believe that it's just the speed and the agility of this defensive front that Archbold has, because how many is that? 5 holding penalties on the night now?
4.
4.
And they've all been at inopportune times.
Nobis going to throw this one deep to Jones, and Jones has it just on the other side of the 35-yard line. Didn't get the first down, but boy, he got a big chunk of it and
14.
stepped out of bounds. And the Bears now with a opportunity here. Nobis and Jones really have found a liking with one another, and that was just a little out route.
And he actually had a guy short, too, that he could have thrown to.
Third down, make it about 5 now for the Bears.
3rd and 4 from their own 36.
Nobis again in the backfield with a running back to his left. Doubles on the top, doubles on the bottom, and they'll go straight forward. Nobis is on his feet. He will be close to the first down, but he will be short at about the 39. And here's a big decision for you. They are at the 39-yard line. They need a yard. It's 4th down and 1 with 3:27 to play. And
he's going to kick it, but you should go for it. I would go for it there.
You might see a fake here. You never can tell.
I'd line David Rummel up and go for it. David Rummel has not had – he has had one negative play. And then he had the snap over his head.
There is that short snap, and that's Peters, and Peters is going to be really close. I think he's got enough. Peters with the direct snap. There you go, Chris. You wanted to go for it. You got it, and you got 2 yards. You needed 1. It'll be Bears ball at the 41-yard line, first down and 10 as we hit the 3-minute mark here in the third quarter.
I like that. That was a good play right there.
Got a text from my buddy Zach Hazlett a little while ago. He's out there basically enjoying life down in Columbus here tonight. 2:51 to play in the third quarter. Nobis drops, throws out in the flats. He's got his man. That's across the 45 by Rummel, and he'll be out of bounds at about the 40. What are they going to say? 48. So give about 8, and it'll be second down and 2. Little screen pass to Rummel, and again the ball. The thing that's happening now as we get later in this season, Chris, is he's throwing that ball a little quicker. If you remember the first
held on to
part
it
of it, he'd hold and wait, and then throw the ball out. By that time, Rummel had no place to go.
Loose Creek's out as a receiver, too.
Creek is the wide guy right here on the home side with the triples. Nobis drops, looks to throw. He's got plenty of time, and he heaves this one down in the middle of the field. He's got him, and that's Rummel in Archbold territory down at the 36-yard line. Give it about 15. It'll be first down and 10 Golden Bears, and that one was thrown into tight coverage. 3 Archbold blue streaks around David Rummel, and Rummel basically went up in the air and pulled it back down in, and it'll be Bears ball moving the football here now with just 2:24 to play here in the third quarter.
It's the 9th first down of the night for the Bears.
Novus again in the backfield with a single running back. Double stacked on both
the blitz.
sides. Peters picks up that blitz. Ball's thrown a little too high and over everybody's head.
A nice job to get rid of it.
Josh Jones with the intended receiver down to the right flat. The ball went over his head and then over the head of 2 defensive backs right behind him. And it'll be second down now and 10.
Peters did an amazing job right there picking the blitz up and giving him that extra second to throw because the Archbold defense is bearing down.
They have brought some good pressure tonight and have been able to get in and make things tough there for Zach Nobus. Peters again, the running back to the left. And if you missed it, Damon Belts, 44, in his street clothes right now with a pair of crutches on the sideline. Nobus drops. He's got heat coming. He throws it over the heat to Peters, but it was over Peters' head. A good idea as you had Peterson, Sam Peterson, coming your way off the corner. So the screen pass was there. It would have probably been a nice pickup of 4 or 5, but the ball over Peters' head will be incomplete. Third down now and 10.
Wow. 5:25 of the opening half. So it's 3rd and 10.
2:05 to play. Third quarter, Bears again in 4 down territory.
Absolutely.
Probably for the rest of the night, Chris. No matter where you're at.
After 3 quarters,
All right.
21.
Peters now settles on the right side of Novus. He's got trips on the visitor side, a single on the home side. Novus going to let fire deep, and it's over everybody's head. Hausch was the closest receiver to it, and he was coming back towards the line of scrimmage, and that ball actually hit down around the 5-yard line. Hausch had made his cut at about the 15. 4th down now and 10 for the Bears.
Bears now 1 of 6 on 3rd down.
And I'm hearing up here with Jimmy Measle that Mr. Chris is a happy guy down there because I think Montpelier might have taken a lead here. We'll have to get down to Chris at the end of the quarter, check up and see how everything's going around the area. Bears will go for it on 4th down. There's triples to the top, single receiver here on the bottom side. That is Blues Creek. Nobus drops back, and he has time. Throws it into the crowd. And was it intercepted? No, it ends up on the ground. That ball was tipped around, bounced around. Looked a little like a volleyball game down around the 25-yard line. Nobody able to come in with it. So the ball will go over on downs as the Bears give it back with 1 minute and 52 seconds left to go here in the third quarter.
It's a promising drive. 10 plays, 34 yards, 2 minutes 55, but
then they kind of stalled out.
Yep.
And we have a stoppage here for some reason. I don't know what's.
Ball sits right at the 36-yard line now to be Archbold football, first down and 10. Less than 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
This will be the 8th drive for Archbold. Their drives have gone punt, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal, punt, turnover on downs.
Peterson in the shotgun with 2 running backs right in front of him. Fake the handoff to the jet sweep. Keeps the football, goes around the left corner. He'll not get much. Chance Taylor there to put him down. He'll get maybe 2. In fact, give him a yard. As Taylor drops him for a very short yardage. And it will be second down now and 9.
Peterson now with 14 yards on 12 carries.
Archbold with 84 yards in the ground tonight and 123.
Peterson again, just a sophomore. Twin brother's been his running back, and he's in front of him to his left right now as they go back in that shotgun look. He'll fake the run. Here comes the blitz. Ball gets thrown, almost picked off by Josh Jones as he was fighting with Sam Peterson in Golden Bear territory down at the 45-yard line. Josh had the best shot at it, but the ball basically thrown a little behind him, and he had to pull that in one-handed.
Gabe Peterson now is 50%, 6 of 12.
Third down.
We have not had an interception tonight. I was just
and I'll tell you what, that's a big plus. Been very efficient, really have done very few things to hurt themselves tonight. 17 points on the scoreboard. They all came in period number 2.
About span of about 5 minutes, right?
Peterson throws to his brother Sam in the flat. Right corner, he's still on his feet. Got the first down up the sideline at the 40-yard line and out of bounds inside the 40, I believe. Well, inside the 45, they're going to say he stepped out at the 41. And then we have a late flag after everything is over, and it's going to be a personal foul on the Bears.
21 is what he picked up on that.
Number 8, late hit. 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
So the Bears get a personal foul after a big third down pickup. Jacob Garza, number 8, the young man that got called, and it was a little shoving and pushing at the end of that play.
Archbold
between he and one of the blockers down the field. So we're under a minute to play now in the third quarter. And what appeared to be a situation where the Bears might have been getting the ball back here, now it becomes a first down in Bears territory at the 28-yard line, first down and 10. And Peterson will go empty backfield. Doubles to the top, triples to the bottom. Jet sweep coming left side. Round the corner at the 25 and inside to the 20-yard line goes Joe Reeker. We've got a penalty flag right as he made that turn on the corner.
I think that might be coming back with the block in the back or a hold.
So the holding call will go against Archbold and will wipe out a nice run of about 8 yards.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
So the penalty will actually work out to be about 6 yards as that ball will be spotted on the 36-yard line. And make it about 7.5 as they've got to go down inside the 29 to about the 28.5-yard line. So those holding penalties being walked off from the spot of the foul. 35 and counting here in the third quarter. Empty backfield again. Peterson looks to his right, then to his left, and then throws it a little bit too far to his left and out of bounds. The intended receiver was Toby Walker. Walker had really no shot at that football, and it will now be second down and long. Stops the clock with 27.4 seconds to play here in the third quarter.
Archbold's longest drive was their first drive, and they ran 12 plays, but ended up punting. Since then, they haven't had a drive of more than 7 plays. This will be the 5th play of the drive.
17-0. Single running back now in the backfield is Reeker. Peterson, the quarterback, and he'll turn and hand it to Joe, and Reeker will get a couple yards off that right side. He'll work his way inside the 35 to the 34. Now the wind's coming at your face this way. It's not a real brisk wind. In fact, it's died down quite a bit, but this is just about the distance that they hit the field goal right before the end of the first half there. Third quarter is going to come to a close as nobody's going to stop the clock. We played 3 here at Bryan. Bears down 17-0 on BryanSports.com. Bears Stadium as the Bears now defending the opposite side of the field here as we flip everything around, and probably a pretty good idea. At least you're going to have the opportunity maybe to kick a field goal if nothing else, Chris. Third down now at about 16 for Archbold as both the Petersons now back in the backfield. Gabe, the quarterback, Sam, the running back to his right. Triples here in front of us, a single to the top. Gabe drops. He's got plenty of time. Now he's going to roll to his left, throw it. He's got his guy at the 20, 21. He'll have the first down.
He's close. Did he get it?
Toby Walker was the young man that pulled that one in, and depending on where they spot that, he has either gotten it or he is inches away. Are they going to look this over and bring in the sticks, or are they just going to judge it up and decide? So Toby Walker gets the catch. It was third down and 16.
And the last 2 catches he's made have been for 16 apiece.
Oh, wow. There you go.
He's short. Well, maybe not.
You rearrange everything. That'll be just enough for the first down. So the thing that I have been most impressed, I think, about Gabe Peterson tonight is his ability to decide at the very last moment whether he needed to run that ball or throw it. He really had no place to run, but that movement and that fake to give the Bears that look that he was going to run caused some people to take a step
away from Walker. Walker found that little hole, and Peterson found Walker for the first down pickup. First down and 10 now. Quick toss.
Oh, it hit the ground.
Dropped by Toby Walker. Little flanker screen, and Walker had a couple blockers setting up in front of him, but that ball kind of low, and he dribbled it a little bit there at his feet. Wasn't able to pull it back up. Second down now and 10. 11:34 to play in the ball game. Bears down by 17.
Was that a lateral or a?
I think that was a forward pass. Just barely.
Wow.
Both the Petersons again to the running backs in the backfield. Sam is a running back. Gabe keeps the football.
Oh, my goodness.
Looked like the Bears had him. Then he reverses his field. He's down the sideline, and he's going to be close to the end zone.
He's going to be horse collar, too.
And they're going to call it a touchdown anyway.
Okay. And a horse collar.
Bears had him pretty much dead to rights in the backfield back here at around the 20-yard line. And somehow Gabe Peterson was able to wiggle his way out of those tackles, headed up to the visitor's sideline. And once he got there, there was nobody between him and about the 3-yard line. When he got down to the goal line, Bears then got called for a horse collar.
That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Not that they needed to kick it out of this stadium, but the horse collar will be inflicted there on the next kick. So Mayer with the extra point, trying to make this thing 24-0. Good snap, good kick, and it is perfect. And just like that, 11:24 to go in the ball game, and the Bears down 24-0 here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Gold Bear Stadium, don't forget to be part of Bryan Strong, the new boosters group that is basically their membership group. And they were here tonight with a tent, and I'm sure it introduced an awful lot of Bears fans to the new Bryan Strong program. With that penalty, the ball will actually be teed up on the Bryan side of the 50 at the 45-yard line. And if this one doesn't make it over to the top of the
wow.
athletic building over there, I'd be surprised. That one kicked way out of the end zone as we expected, and it would be Bryan's ball on the 20-yard line. So the Bears needed really to come up with a stop right there if they were going to have that opportunity to maybe turn things around here and have enough time, but you never can tell. I guess last week I was starting to write them off there with a minute and a half to play in that ball game, and the next thing you know, they almost pulled that one out, so you never can tell. Maybe we've got a little of that Cinderella in us here, and we can find a way to make this a ball game here. Still got a quarter to play. Bears with the ball in the 20. Down 24-0. Peters again the only running back in the backfield. Nobis the quarterback. Triples on our side, the single on the top. Nobis drops, throws, has Josh Jones out across the 22, maybe the 24-yard line. Knocked down immediately.
43 yards receiving for Jones now.
They're going to give Jones about 4 on that catch. Grimm with the tackle. And the Bears now just need a good, solid, steady drive for a touchdown. Triples go to the top, single to the bottom, single running back again to the backfield. The Bears moved a little bit, and they will whistle this one dead. It was Drew Peters from his halfback spot that started about a half a step too early.
Number 6 in the offense, 5-yard penalty, still second.
That is 75 yards of penalties.
So, I'll tell you what, Bears need a little razzle-dazzle here, I think, before everything's over and done with, don't you think?
I think maybe they do.
Oh, my goodness. 10:36 to play here in the fourth quarter. Triples go to the top. Single receiver right in front of us. Single running back in the backfield. Again, the pistol look. Nobis drops, looking to throw it deep.
What a ball.
Visitor's sideline. Hit Josh Jones in the hands, but he was falling backwards and couldn't pull it in out around the midfield stripe. And it'll be third down now for the Bears.
That was the best ball I've ever seen Zach Nobis throw. It was true. It was straight. It had a nice spiral.
Yep.
And hit Jones in the hands.
He's got that ability, man. I'll tell you what. He can rev it up and toss it out there, and he's been getting good time. That ball was really where it needed to be. Josh, I think, got turned around just a little bit. Jones did. And he was falling backwards as that ball hit him really right in the hands. If he could have kept his feet, that would have been enough for the first down. Instead, it's third down now and 11 for the Bears.
Bears 1 of 6 for third down.
Doubles to the top, doubles to the bottom. Peters, the running back. Nobis throws. Jones went up, couldn't bring it back down. Ball again was a little bit too high, but I think Josh Jones will pull that one in at least 8 out of 10 times. But as he's on his way back down, couldn't keep both hands on the ball. And that fourth down play coming ahead of us now is going to have to be a punt, I think.
Yep.
Rodriguez will go back just on his side of the 50-yard line to adjust these quadrifocals a little bit there for my buddy Mr. Hazlett down there in Columbus, Ohio. High snap. Jones pulls it in, runs a couple steps, then he bangs one. Rodriguez will fair catch right at the 50-yard line, and Archbold will have good field position when we come back. 10:08 to play here in the fourth quarter. 24-0, Archbold on top. In fact, we'll just keep it right here.
We got any updates for scores? Anybody?
Okay. It's Wasion 21, Liberty Center 7, PH 28, Swanton 35, Delta 31, Evergreen 12. It's Gibsonburg beating Montpelier 29 to 22.
Ouch.
Ayersville over Holgate 25-6. Maumee getting beat by Napoleon 21-7. Wapakoneta over Defiance 50-0. 35-7 is the score between Tenora and Fairview, and it's Edgerton over Wayne Trace 20-6.
Wow.
Reeker on the jet sweep gets around the corner and fumbles the football, and the Bears actually fall on it right in front of the Golden Bear bench. You really had a hard time telling who brought that football back up, but it will be Golden Bears football right at the 40-yard line. So there's the break that we're looking for.
For Archbold, turnovers are even at 1 apiece.
First down to 10 now, Golden Bears with 10 minutes to play in this football game. Will this break maybe get things going for the Bears?
We got a timeout, Archbold.
Coach Dominic wants to talk things over. He'll use his first timeout here in the second half. We'll take it with him. 10 minutes exactly to play in the ball game. Bears down 24-0. BryantSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, Bears with the football, and we're being told right now, we believe it was Sam Culler maybe that picked that one up. Kind of hard to tell what exactly happened down in front of us. Big run by Reeker. Looked like he was going to have enough for the first down, and as he was being tackled, that ball just got stripped loose, didn't it? So the Bears still have 10 minutes to go. They still have 2 timeouts, but they trail 4 scores right now. There's something about that in our history, I believe.
Yeah, there is.
Somewhere in that ballpark a long time ago.
It's against Patrick Henry, right?
Triples to the top, singles to the bottom. Nobis drops. He has some pressure, so he will run. Now let go of it the last second. That one was almost picked off. Nice job by Nick Rodriguez to get in front of that football as that intended receiver down the field was, let's see, Lucas Nye back in the ball game, number 4. And the ball a little bit late getting there. Rodriguez almost scooped that one up. 9:53. Bears with a big series right now. They really can't go without a score in this drive.
Absolutely.
Nobis rolls to the right side. He has all kinds of problems, and he's going to be dropped back around that 30-yard line. Number 50, Austin Wilson, the tackler there for Archbold, and he will drop Nobis for about a 10-yard loss. And it is now 3rd down and 20. Again, the speed tonight of Archbold has just been a little bit more than what the Bears were ready to accommodate here tonight. They have been able to put some serious pressure on Zach Nobis when they need to. And just like this situation, 3rd down now and 20, the Bears with 9:14 and counting. Going to have to come up with a big 3rd down. Peters again, the only guy in the backfield. Snap, quick snap. Nobis looking down across the middle of the field. This one's a little bit low to Nye.
Nye would have been close to that first down, but the ball basically at shoe top level out around the 48-yard line will give the football probably back to Archbold as the Bears will face a 4th down now and 20. And I'll tell you the thing that I'm most amazed about, if you've been following our buddy there, Zach Hazlett down in Columbus, he's going to go for his master's degree. I think it was like a veterinary school or something, in dog grooming, I believe.
Sally Struthers is the spokesperson.
There you go. Josh Jones gets this one away. It's a kind of a crazy kick that takes a Bryan bounce, hits at about the 40-yard line, and then squibbles its way down to the 32-yard line, 31-yard line. Now they're going to say actually the 33 now is where they're going to say they actually touched that football. It will be 1st down and 10 now for Archbold.
Jim, I'm really impressed with you tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah, you've not once called them the Blue Flashes.
I left that one for you. How's that?
Now you're going to do it.
And you are now welcome there, Zach. How's that? 8:47 to play in this football game. Peterson again in the backfield. He'll hand to Sam Peterson, and Sam will get dragged down for a loss inside the 30, back at the 27-yard line.
That's the first negative rush for Sam Peterson. He's got 52 yards on 8 carries.
Clayton Farrell, the young guy that was the accommodating tackler for that one. 2nd down now, and about 16 here for the Blue Streaks here.
You almost did it.
I know. You get me thinking that way, and I'm going to do it. And then Zach's going to be the happiest guy. He'll be down there in Columbus just smiling. They stack triples down here, and they will throw it to Rodriguez, who is the back of that threesome. And he will catch the football for a short gain up to the 30-yard line. As the Bears saw that one coming, Armbruster, the first guy on the play, color there as well, and Rodriguez gets up hobbling a little bit. Basically, they stacked 3 guys. Rodriguez was the back receiver of that 3. They throw it to him, and the top 2 are supposed to grab a block. Armbruster didn't go for the block. And Rodriguez had to hobble his way over to the sideline there. Hopefully nothing serious. Looked like maybe just a slight sprained ankle or something minor. I would expect 14 to be back on the field here shortly. Empty backfield now for Peterson. 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Again, that sweep.
And we got laundry all over the field.
Mayer was the young man that was going to get that football and head towards the visitor's sideline, but instead,
offense, number 65, still 3rd down.
Offensive line moved a little bit early.
That is the 7th penalty for 50 yards for Archbold.
In fact, that was on the center, so maybe that ball was snapped a little bit late or was missnapped early. So the 3rd down situation now for the Blue Streaks, and it's 3rd down at about 17. 24-0 if you tuned in. The Streaks on top of the Bears tonight with just over 7 to play here in this football game. Peterson, he'll keep it. Yeah, faked it, and then he faked throwing it, and then he ended up running the football across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. He's done that to us a couple of times where he will start to take off, will bite on the run, and he'll throw it over our heads. And this time, Bears forced him into the run, the short pickup, and the 4th down will make it 4th down and 12.
He would have been past the line of scrimmage if he tried to throw it there.
4th down and 12. Josh Jones goes deep. He's at the 35-yard line of the Golden Bears. Here comes the blitz. They almost got there. Jones will catch it, and he will be knocked down right where he caught the ball at about the 32-yard line. That's the one thing when you sell out like that, there's not anybody back there for Josh Jones to help him. They'll actually credit him the 33-yard line. And Jones did a good job to hang on to that under some severe pressure. And the Bears were about 1 step away from being able to block that one and maybe have some good things happen to them. Under 7 to play now. Bears have 3 receivers go to the top. Nobis again the quarterback. Blues Creek again the farthest wide receiver on the top, and they are going to throw the ball. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. David Rummel was the underneath receiver at about the 42,
It actually bounced off Rummel's hands, went up the field about 3 yards and went through Josh Jones's hands and then was incomplete.
Well, I think it was intended for Jones.
I think it was too, and Rummel got
into it.
I agree. Two receivers a little bit too close to one another at that point in time, within about 2 yards of one another over on that Archbold sideline. Almost worked out for him. Creek, Rummel, the wide guys on the top side. Nobis gets a block. Now he's going to roll to his right and throw, and he's got Blues Creek on the sideline. And Creek has
got flagged for that earlier.
Down at the 44-yard line. And
wow.
And he will be knocked out of bounds, but not before Blues gets about 12. And they'll give him the 45. It will be first down and 10 now for the Bears.
No fair.
Bears looking for that very first touchdown right now. That'll make everybody down in Columbus real happy. 6:39 to play here in this football game. Let's see if the Bears can get this focused and make this one of those miraculous finishes that we've seen so many times here at Golden Bear Stadium about 3 years ago. Nobis drops. He has time. He will throw the ball, and it's going to be intercepted by Toby Walker. But you're right. We've got Laundry right there where Walker was. Walker was not the guy that made the contact down the field, but another one of the Blue Streaks. I believe Reeker might have been the guilty party that made the block.
That's coming all the way back.
On Nye. Lucas Nye was the intended receiver, and all of a sudden he got wiped out of the play. And it will be good news for the Golden Bear fans as they will maintain possession.
Yep, absolutely.
And those hawk-like eyes of...
I got to make up for you.
Pass interference.
I got to get some new lenses in these quadrifocals, I think. Are there? What's the next one? When you go that syncofocals or something like that? When they get 5 different layers of these things, you got to go up another notch. You know what I mean?
Is that a 15-yarder? Or it's from the spot?
They're going to.
It's at the spot.
Mark it right at the spot, which is the 40-yard line.
It would have been a 10-yard penalty in effect.
So the Bears now have the football, first down and 10. They are in Archbold territory at the 40-yard line with 6.5 to play. Nobis will go straight back. Now he will run left side inside the 40, stiff arm at the 35, and then out of bounds down around the 34. But we have Laundry again down on the field. This one right around the 42-yard line. And I believe it's going to go against the Bears.
Yep.
Would have been about a 6-yard pickup, but instead, the penalty.
I think it'll be another hold. Let's wait for the call.
The penalty flag was thrown to the 36-yard line, marked off the spot of infraction.
Back.
Rocking the back.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still first.
Still be a first down, but it'll be first down now and 16 for the Golden Bears.
8 penalties, 85 yards for Bryan.
Man, and they have just come at the worst possible times. Really, it's not been that, 8 penalties is not, with 6 minutes to go, you could still be in double digits before the night's over. But boy, if you could take half of those away, things might be a little different. Nobis drops, throws. This one was going to be picked off, and no flags on the ground down around the 35-yard line.
That should do it.
And let's see, 22, Gavin Grimm got that one. So Gavin Grimm with the interception. So 22 pulls it in, and the football will go back over to Archbold on the 37-yard line.
And Archbold takes over.
6:10 to play here in this football game.
37-yard line with 6:10 left in this ball game. Archbold leading 24-0.
Get the Peterson brothers in the backfield. Gabe in the pistol. Reeker in motion. They turned and handed to Sam Peterson, and Sam is going to be pushed backwards. He'll lose a yard or two. He's dropped clear back inside the 30-yard line, but forward progress will get him to the 36, so he'll lose about 2. And second down, and they give him basically one at the 31 or 36, so it'll be second down and 11. Bears will have homecoming here next week with Delta, and then they will start to do a little road tripping.
Yep.
Reeker, left side, on his feet. He's close to a first down. In fact, he's got the first down as he crosses the 45-yard line and finally dropped across the 47, close to the 48. So Joe Reeker with the run.
11-yard pickup.
And the ball just on the 48-yard line here of the Archbold Blue Streaks with 5:11 to play in the ball game.
That's the 12th first down for Archbold.
Empty backfield now with doubles to the home side, or the visitor side, and triples to the home side. Peterson in the backfield all by himself looking for the football. Reeker with the jet sweep again. This time he's going to get around the corner on the home side. He'll cross the 50 and be submarine by Hausch at the 49-yard line.
Pickup of 3. It was a hard 3 yards.
Jake Kuba also there on the tackle, but yeah, you're right. He paid for those 3. Ran a long way and then just basically got his pegs knocked out from underneath of him. Archbold, I would think, would be very happy just to allow that clock to run and pick up 2 and 3 yards at a time. Get this thing down into that 2-minute mark. Reeker now the running back with Peterson in the backfield on his right shoulder. And they'll hand it to Joe Reeker, and Reeker gets picked up right in the backfield, and there's enough Golden Bears to just basically drop him for a loss of a couple.
Lose 2.
He'll go back into Archbold territory at the 49-yard line. Jake Hausch was in there on the tackle. And also Clayton Farrell. So it's third down now and 9 for the Archbold Blue Streaks with 3:43 and the clock moving here in the fourth quarter. Ball game that everybody was looking forward to here tonight, and Archbold with a big second quarter.
Yep, absolutely. 17 points scored there.
Just kind of took everything and said, well, I believe we're going to come over here to Bryan tonight and have kind of a happy little Friday night.
That's 31, Jim.
31 is actually, let's see, Camden Miller. Camden Miller is a sophomore. And Miller sets up a fourth down now and about 6.
Looks like they'll punt.
Josh Jones all the way back inside his 15-yard line.
Waiting for the punt now with under 3 minutes to play. Here's the boot. And it's
Jones will watch it kick in front of him, take an Archbold roll, and be down at the 5-yard line. And I'll tell you what, a nice job there by Seth Mayer as he was all over that football. In fact, it, I believe, hit him down around that 6-yard line. But he was just pretty much guarding the football all the way down the field, low kick. Josh Jones really didn't have a chance to get anywhere close to it as Mayer was right there next to that football, and as soon as he rubbed up against his leg, he was able to down it. The ball will be right at the 5-yard line with 2:45 to play in this ball game. So the Bears have one last opportunity now, Chris, maybe to put some points on the board tonight. And they'll have to go 95 yards if they're going to make it happen. Drew Peters with the run on first down, and he'll get out to the 7-yard line, so give Drew 2. .229 and the clock is moving. .218 and everything is rolling right now as the Bears have the football. Pistol look again. Nobis in the backfield. Peters right next to him, and Nobis will keep it. He has room across the middle. He'll get the first down as he's out over the 15, maybe the 16-yard line.
Pickup of 9 on that one. Nobis now with 61 yards on 12 carries.
And we're down to 2 minutes left in this contest. Bears still have all timeouts, all their timeouts here in the second half, all 3 of them, but I don't expect that unless something really miraculous would happen here, that they'll even pull the trigger on one of them here tonight. Again, Novus and Peters in the backfield as Novus drops back to throw. Toss it across the middle of the field, and this one through Blues Creek's hands out around the 40-yard line and will be incomplete. So we've got a minute and a half here basically left in this ball game.
Novus 8 for 23 for 85 yards tonight.
Wow. Well, again, he keeps getting better every Friday night. And from where he started this season out, he has made great strides to this point. Again, only a sophomore coming in and starting to find his way here on Friday nights. Again, with Damon Belts not in the ball game here tonight since the second quarter, that's made it a little tough. Put that one on the hands of Josh Jones out around the 25-yard line, and Jones couldn't pull it in. That would have been enough for a first down if Josh could have somehow pulled that one in. He had enough room to get out across the 27, probably close to the 30, but the ball falls on the ground and incomplete right around that 26, and it'll be third down now and 10 for the Bears. Incompletion stops everything with a minute and a half even here in this ball game. Triples again to the top, single receiver right in front of us. Peters again, the running back in the backfield. Novus will drop. Now he'll roll towards the home side. He's going to run it across the 22, maybe the 23. That'll set up a fourth down and about 4. And I would have to believe with just a minute and 15 to go and the clock moving that the Bears will go for it. Call it really 3 as they spot it on the 28-yard line, and he needs to get to the 31. Bears again will go through this one and still be looking for that first win next week when Delta comes to town. Novus with a high snap, and he will advance the ball close to that first down. I think he's got it, Chris.
Yes, he does.
He'll get to the 32-yard line, and it will be first down and 10 with 49 seconds left to play. And right at the end of the ball game, we'll go down to our big buddy Chris Bryce and see what the other finals are around. I just heard Jimmy say something about Montpelier winning, so I'm sure our buddy Christopher's down there right now doing the happy dance in the bus down along the field. If the buses are rocking, we'll know that Christopher is celebrating down there right now. Ball across the middle to Rummel, and he got separated just as the ball got there. And that was Rodriguez, 14, who just launched himself like a bullet. Nick Rodriguez.
I think Montpelier lost, Jim. I think you misheard.
Oh, okay, that's possible too. Ball hung up just a little bit, and Rodriguez launched himself just at that last second, so the incompletion stops the clock with 24 to go.
10 for the Golden Bears at their own 27. A couple more plays before we officially put this game in the books.
Doubles to the top, doubles to the bottom.
Second and 10 for the 27.
Novus getting that pistol look with Drew Peters. And he's going to throw this one far down the sideline, and it's going to be intercepted in Archbold territory at the 45-yard line and then out of bounds.
I think the flag's going to be on Archbold. And that was thrown with force.
Ryan Trevino, the young man that pulled that one in for Archbold.
That flag was thrown with force, man. Like he was angry throwing that flag.
We've got a flag.
Late hit. 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
Gotta stop that. That's ridiculous.
So a late hit on the Bears will give the Blue Streaks the ball in Bryan territory. It's not really going to matter at this point with 15 seconds left to go in the ball game. One more snap, and this one's going to be in the books tonight. And the Bears just again with too many mistakes here tonight to be able to somehow get around a team like this one. Peterson will take the snap, he'll take a knee, and that's going to do it. This one's going in the books as an Archbold Blue Streaks victory, 24-0 here at Golden Bear Stadium. We'll step away. When we come back, we'll get you scores from around the area, some final stats, and put a great big old bow on this one on this Friday night at BryanSports.com. Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, Jim and Chris, as we do some last-minute figuring here as far as final stats here, and I shouldn't say we. That should be in the plural, should it be?
No.
Just in the singular there is
That's
Mr.
right.
Mr. Malinga over there with his abacus and his calculator.
All right, I think I got it now.
Got it all put together, and I'll turn it over to Chris Malinga.
All right, well, it was 24-0. Archbold scored 17 of their points in the second quarter, 7 in the fourth quarter. Bryan had 12 first downs, 7 by the rush, 4 by the pass, 1 by penalty. Archbold also 12 first downs, 6 by the rush, 5 by the pass, 1 by the penalty. Bryan had 106 yards on 30 rushing attempts, and Archbold had 40 rushing attempts for 204 yards. Bryan was 8 of 25 for 85 yards and 2 interceptions. Archbold 8 of 16 for 119 yards, no interceptions. Bryan ran 48 offensive plays. Archbold ran 52. Bryan had 191 yards of total offense to Archbold's 323 yards. Time of possession, 24:04 for Bryan, 26:42 for Archbold. Bryan was 1 of 8 on third down conversions. That's 12.5%. Archbold, meanwhile, 6 of 13 on third downs for 46%. Bryan was 50% on fourth downs, 2 of 4. Archbold went for it once on fourth down, did not get it. Archbold scored both times they were in the red zone. Bryan was penalized 9 times for 100 yards. Archbold 8 times for 60 yards. Archbold had 1 field goal and 3 extra points that were good as well. Taking a look at the drives for Bryan. Bryan's drives went like this in the first half. Punt, 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 fumble, and then the half ended. Not much better in the second half. Turnover on downs, punt, punt, interception, interception. So let's count that up again. 12 drives, 6 punts, 2 interceptions, 2 turnover on downs, and an end of half. So not a good situation. Archbold, meanwhile, their first half drives went punt, punt, TD run, field goal. So that's a lot more productive, 17 points there. Their second half, not as good. They went punt, turnover on downs, TD run, fumble, punt, end of game. So out of their 12 drives, they punted 6 times as well. But the difference being is they had a couple of touchdowns and a field goal, or 3 touchdowns and a field goal there. Touchdowns scored by Walker with 5:25 remaining in the second quarter. Meyer POT make it 7-0. Then with 2:11 in the second quarter, Walker another 1-yard touchdown run, make it 14-0. Then Meyer had a 46-yard field goal to make it 17-0. That was the score at halftime. And then the third quarter with 11:24 remaining, Peterson had an 18-yard touchdown run. The PAT was good. Taking a look at individual statistics, David Beltz left the game at halftime with 31 total yards on 6 carries. Peters had -4 yards on 5 carries. Novus 71 total yards on 14 carries. His long was 29 yards. Rummel with 8 yards, net yards. He had that fumble or that snap that went over his head that was a -20, but he had 5 carries for 8 yards. Quarterbacks 8 of 25 with 2 interceptions. So that was 8 of 26 for 30%, 85 yards. The long pass was 16. Receiving, Rummel had 30 yards on 3 receptions. Creek 1 reception for 12. Jones 4 receptions for 43 yards. Bryan was penalized 9 times for 100 yards in their 48 plays. And Archbold, let's take a look at their individual statistics. Their leading rusher was Walker. His long was 2 runs of 16. He had 70 yards total. Peterson's with 50 yards on 8 carries. Those Walker carries were 70 yards on 11 carries. Peterson 50 yards on 8. Miller 4 on 1 carry. Reeker 14 yards on 4 carries. Peterson, quarterback Peterson had 14 carries for 38 yards. Meyer 2 carries for 25 yards. Rodriguez 1 carry for 3. Passing, Peterson was 7 of 15 for 87 yards. His long pass was 19. And then Sam Peterson had that one trickeration pass that was for 32 yards. The leading receiver was Meyer for 75 yards on 4 receptions. Walker had 2 receptions for 27 yards. They were penalized 8 times for 60 yards.
Wow.
Let's see if maybe Chris Bryce is down there with some final scores tonight, because what I'm hearing right now is Swanton wins tonight. Liberty gets beat, so Swanton now on top of the conference all by themselves. Chris, you got some finals for us?
Hey, Jim, it's Wauseon over Liberty Center 28-7. Swanton's beating Patrick Henry 56-28, and that's in the fourth.
56-28.
It's Delta over Evergreen 38-20. That's in the fourth. Gibsonburg upsets Montpelier 36-28.
Oh, darn it.
Ayersville over Holgate 31-6. Napoleon is a final. It's Napoleon over Maumee 21-7. Wapakoneta beat Defiance 50-0. And Tenora over Fairview 42-7. That's a final. And Wayne Trace is beating Edgerton 28-26, and that's in the fourth. That's all I got down here. Back up to you guys.
Sounds good. Well, that will leave Swanton all by themselves on the top of the conference at 4-0.
Wow.
And keep them perfect on the season at 7-0.
This was their year.
Yeah, it really is. And they're showing it. For the Bears, they will drop to 0-7, 0-4 in the conference. For Archbold, now 2-2 in the league and 4-3 on the season. And basically next week we have Delta coming in here for homecoming.
Yep.
Basically, Archbold will be traveling, back to their house next week. They will host Liberty Center. So it will be an interesting week of football next week as Liberty will go to Archbold. Swanton will be at Wauseon. Delta comes to Bryan. And PH goes to Evergreen. But again, tonight it was a tough night for the home team as they fall 24-0. One last big shout-out to the sponsors tonight. Whelan's Automotive Dealership, quality at aftermarket pricing. Tompkinson BMW, home of the ultimate driving machine. The Plaza Motel, your home away from home. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of service for all types of people. Northwest State Community College, helping you take that next step to a new job or a new career. Krill Funeral Home, commitment to service is our #1 priority. Genesis Healthcare, Bryan Center, we are your friends, your family, and your neighbors. Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable and high-speed internet provider. Bryan Ford Lincoln, we're just down the road from high prices. And the Bryan Athletic Boosters, always backing our athletes. Good luck to the Bears all season long. And that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Down in the booth here tonight, we had young Mr. Eric Herman pushing all the buttons. Had some help down there with Edna Clark and Chris Bryce. Cam Rops, Aaron Gilbert, Shar Miller, and Sam Clark here tonight. For Chris Malinga, I'm Jim Funderburg. We will talk to you next Friday night here.
Early. We're going to have an early broadcast next Friday night. Don't forget, because of homecoming, probably be on the air right around 6 o'clock. So it's early.
There you go. It will be early. That's really early for me. I'll be eating dinner still at that point.
I know, but we'll be having homecoming festivities. So get there early on BryanSports.com.
Until then, for Chris, I'm Jim. See you next Friday night here on BryanSports.com.